Coming up on the next episode of the Celsius Pod.
Every 5 minutes, I pause the show to. Who's this character? Who's Big Dawn? Who is the unicorn?
They got Big Wheel? Is Big Wheel in this one?
Every 5 minutes, I pause the show to. Who's this character? Who's Big Dawn? Who is the unicorn?
They got Big Wheel? Is Big Wheel in this one?
Of the movie.
I forgot. The establishing shot of the movie is AI generated. No fucking way.
The very first thing you see is a poorly CGI AI generated
Motel in
winter
Alaska.
motel with like a not a Dodge, with like an SUV in it.
Uri, are you okay?
Nikola, so tell us how you found the photo, Nikola.
We're starting this one right where we ended the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first
Guys,
of all,
So guys,
Cohesive. Full circle.
So here's what happened last time. Beck said he went to Rocky Horror Picture Show live and dressed in drag, and he said, "Go on a mission to go and find the image."
I gave them a
Nikola-
side quest.
And Nikola at the end of the episode would not stop looking it up. But okay, I think we should go. I think me and Uri should talk about how we tried to go about it, and then Nikola can tell us how he did it. So Uri, how did you try to find the pictures of Beck and drag?
After that day we tried to find it, I stopped looking for it because I stopped caring. But,
That's a good point.
yeah.
But I assumed either you or Nikola would find the picture, so I just stopped and I did more productive things.
That's fair. So my strategy was to, because the other day I spoke with Beck's friends for like 2.5 hours. And
While he was dying at Celeste.
While I was winning at Celeste. And I said, that's enough rapport. And I tried to follow one on Instagram, the one that dressed Beck in the drag to begin with, because they would definitely have the photos. And then she never let me follow her. She never accepted my request. So I was just
very unfortunate.
no, because she never accepted my request, so I wouldn't be able to like DM them.
So that wasn't one of the friends you were talking to.
I was not.
It was like the main friends he was talking to.
They just don't like Aiden Shoemaker.
They just never let me follow them, which was just really tragic.
That's why you should have done what I did.
If I were you in that situation, I'd be like, I'm not talking to you until you follow back right now. So I just like look at them.
I talked to her once and like
I
not
have no
since.
contact with this person
Well,
though.
let's just say he could have done it a lot better, because what I did.
Yeah, what did you do, Nikola?
My original plan was going to be to DM or leave comments in the description of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, like for that region, like the one that put on that show, being like, "Oh, I was at the show and I was wondering if you had any photos." I realized that's not gonna work. You know what would work better? Making a fake Beck Lyons account. So I made an entire fake Beck Lyons account with the description, with the bio basically saying my old account got hacked.
What?
Got hacked.
What?
And a bunch of stuff.
Does this exist?
You're not going to be able to find it, and I'm not going to show where it is because I'm holding on to this in case I ever need it.
Nikola, this is psychotic.
And I used that to DM a couple people asking for the photos.
What
and
the fuck?
It worked.
Wait, no fucking way.
So I got number 1. I got number 2.
You got multiple photos back.
Sorry, let's try to see if I can get it in focus. Let's see if I can get it in focus.
How did you do that? That's insane.
Did no one ask you about this?
He just lied
Number 2.
randomly to all my
Number 3.
What the fuck?
This is incredible, actually.
Nikola, you should work for like the CIA.
Yeah.
I did not expect him to go this far.
Let me just send it. Let me just
did you
send
just
them.
send all of them?
Do you know who Nikola is?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect it to be that, but I expected it to be that.
You know,
Wait,
I'm gonna have
did
to.
no one ask you about this?
No one asked me about this. I didn't know. And
That's
now
really
randomly they're gonna
fun.
come to
I
me like,
keep my
oh,
cards close to
I
my
saw your alt
chest.
account.
What
I'm
can
gonna
I
be like,
say?
what alt account?
Yeah, nobody said that to you.
They're like,
I keep
we
my
just gave
cards
your
close to
photos
my
to a random
chest.
stranger.
Yeah.
No one.
How did? Wait, Nikola. Like, wait. Can you tell us?
What you said to them?
Yeah. Who?
Okay.
How did you get these? Like, legitimately, this is an incredible feat.
I keep my cards close to my chest.
Okay.
That
It's Beck. You kind of pulled us off. Not gonna lie. You're kind of a
It is
baddie.
good.
what do you I
Alright.
know. Let me tell you, that's peak male masculinity right there.
Yeah.
We're also.
I mean, no,
I don't
it's
know,
not, because it's objectively not actually.
yeah. It's. Damn,
How
Nicola,
do
you were
you
like
as a
good.
man not dress up for drag at Rocky
Nicola, what
Horror
did you
is
say
what
to
I'm
them?
saying.
I mean, I would have if I had gone.
That's why you should come to Emerson, Aiden.
Alright.
You can go
Well,
to
honestly,
Emerson.
it's
Move
kind
on.
of dumb friends if they just gave it to like a random account.
That is
Well-
kind of crazy.
Anyway.
Wow. Anyway, that's really cool. I like that.
I'm
Next
shocked.
up. Let's talk about what we've been watching. Actually, the weather.
I have a
Okay,
few
well,
things we should probably talk
Crazy
about
start to the episode.
Yeah. What's the weather? It's
I have to do a
47.
lot of explaining to my friends now why
About
one of
what?
my other friends impersonated me on Instagram to get photos of me in drag.
They're
Beck,
all
I
gonna
think you should talk
believe you,
about your
Beck
friends on
Lions.
how dumb they are. Honestly,
Beck Lions. They're all gonna believe you so much when you go out of the blue and say, yo, you know that Beck Lions account that DM'd you? And they're gonna be like, what Beck Lions account? There was no Beck Lions account that DM'd me. And you're gonna
You
feel like you're
asked
going
them to
insane.
gaslight me?
And you're gonna feel like you're going absolutely insane. You're gonna be like, there is no Beck Lions account. That never happened.
Wait, did you tell them not to tell Beck? Like, you said that you got the photos and you said, I'm lying. This is actually a friend from the podcast, and don't tell him.
I'm just saying
it's
that
even crazier, Beck.
let's just see what happens. You know?
Nicola,
Beck,
can you
I
please
think-
give me the Beck? Nicola, can you give me the off the record details after this?
Beck, I think you
Sure.
kind of need to get new friends.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned for a lot of people in this scenario.
We'll see. The question is who's gonna crack, and I don't think it's not gonna be me. That's for sure.
Who's gonna crack and it's not him? Fuck.
I need to
That's
break
else
into
could
Nicola's
brag?
Instagram and make sure he did not. What did he post?
I have not posted it on my Instagram.
Beck, this will be an emote, like a lot, and a gift. So prepare for that.
It's gonna be the thumbnail of this episode.
It will,
definitely.
might
It is
be.
not being the thumbnail of this episode.
So guys, I'm
What
writing.
have we been watching?
The weather for me, by the way, just as a little. Sorry about that. It's 21, so pretty cold. And I'm writing a movie, like a full feature length
I'm
film for my
excited.
class.
Mm.
And it's kind of a nerve-wracking thing because like we have to go up to the class and pitch 2 ideas, and then the class votes on which one they like better.
Is this the table one or is that something?
No, this is
different?
I'm actually going to make table one. This is just a full like 90-minute or 2-hour thing I have to write out.
Yeah.
And so
What are your 2 ideas right now?
I had 2 ideas. One, it's about a guy who's at an airport, and he like a family, like he talks to a family for a little bit, and he becomes obsessed with them, and he stalks them to Hawaii, and like becomes obsessed with them.
Mm.
And then the second one is a former superhero with dementia is like starting to lose his mind, and he's like regretting all his past choices, and he wants to fix them, and like it's going to play a lot with memory and stuff like that. So guess which one the class picked?
The other
The
one.
second one.
The mysterious third option.
The second one, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll be writing that.
Cool.
And
You seem disappointed. Did you really want to do the Hawaii one?
no, but I mean, like come on, like
Well-
it was only one like person voted for the first one, and like, come on, I put some effort into that one.
Well,
like,
just keep the idea and use it for a later
No.
day.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I will, but I'm excited. So that's something I'm going to be working on along with table movies. So I'm pretty full right now in movie
Bro's pretty
sort
full
of
right now.
things. But yeah. So we got that out of the way. Any other stories from the week?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Let me see. Let me see my photo album because maybe I can. Maybe I have.
I
My photo
just
album
send all
now
the
just has
Oh.
Beck.
multiples in Celsius.
I got.
Super Bowl.
I got the red.
Oh, right. He got the red
Oh.
Nungus.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a take about the Super Bowl?
I mean, I didn't watch it, but I watched all the ads, and
I went to
some
a
of them were
Super
good.
Bowl party like I did 2 years ago with my mom at Oracle Stadium.
There were a lot of weird ads, like the Tubi one, like
There
the
were
skin
some
hat.
couple
Yeah,
weird
that
ones. The
one
skin
was really
hat
funny.
and the coffee made were the weirdest ones by far.
Yeah. Oh, I like the Jeremy Strong one where he's in the Dunkin' Donuts. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't really watch. I watched parts of it. But I actually went to the theaters instead of watching the Super Bowl.
Because you knew it would be
I
empty.
I had homework to do, so I went home and did homework.
And I watched, yeah.
Yeah, I just fucking watched it. I was on my phone for most of it. I was just like, I knew like after like the first quarter, I'm like, okay, this is over.
I was actually betting on the Chiefs to win,
Ooh,
Yeah.
you lost money.
but the Eagle, oh my
Wow.
god, they got destroyed. So
to be
How
fair,
much?
by a lot.
it was
No,
40 to 22.
how much did you like lose?
Oh, money wise, I don't want to say.
I would love to hear how much
Wow.
it was.
So it's a big amount.
Guys, I
Guys.
thought Travis would make it.
Uh-oh. But guess what? He's getting dumped by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that'll probably come up in a few months, and it'll be
Because
like,
he didn't
yeah,
win,
Travis.
so then he doesn't get a say with her.
Yeah.
She has to move on now.
Nikola, you want to say anything about Kanye, your goat from this past week?
He made graduation. Let's move on.
That's no, you
he
can't
made,
use
he
that.
made
as an
graduation, man. He made graduation.
I mean, what
I
else
miss
do
the
you want?
old
Make
Kanye,
graduation.
the straight from the go Kanye. Yeah,
excuse.
Kanye's been going absolutely insane, and it's low-key Jover. But
Yeah. I mean, he was
No,
Joker
guys,
for a while.
he was hacked, guys. That was
Hey.
not Kanye.
Guys,
I know. I saw the Super Bowl prediction that Kendrick was gonna perform the halftime show. Then all of a sudden, Drake's gonna come out and be like, "I'm sorry. I know we've had our differences,
what
but
the
let's
fuck
put
is
it
this?
all
A Marvel
aside."
movie?
And then Frank Ocean and Tyler the Creator come out from the stand. And Frank Ocean says, "I'm actually making 5 new albums." And then Kanye West appears and he says, "My account got hacked,"
No.
and it's
Mm.
absolute cinema.
Yeah.
I would
But-
prefer a public execution of Drake.
Yeah.
Whoa, Beck.
I mean,
That's a
we
bit-
already kind of got that, but like, you know,
Yeah, he's never going outside again. I thought I
Yeah.
quite like the halftime show. It was good.
It was good. There's a lot of symbolism, you know.
I mean, yeah, there's a
Uncle
lot of
Sam,
America,
the
Serena
split American
Williams.
flag. But it's like literally we had Uncle
Beck,
Sam.
I bet you didn't even know who Serena Williams was. I bet you didn't even know.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Anyway,
wow, Serena
back to the cinema.
Williams, the
let's
famous
get back to the
tennis
the main
player.
part of the podcast, which is what we've been watching. So let's talk
Yeah.
about what we've been watching.
Who wants to go first? Because I can go
Beck
first.
has the most, so
okay,
he's
I'll
going middle.
I'll start with
Everything that I've watched, Aiden has also watched. So
No, that's not true.
no, everything that I have watched, you have also watched,
Except for a couple of things.
except for one
No.
thing.
Yeah, except for one thing. Okay, so I'm gonna
Oh,
start
yeah.
with the most recent Harley Quinn episode. Still watching it. It's better than season 3 and 4. So like
Really?
low bar, but like still. So last episode, I forgot to mention it ends with Harley and Ivy getting kidnapped by Brainiac. I
Hmm.
forgot to say that. So this episode is a Brainiac origin episode for some fucking reason. So
we need that because, like,
we-
I really wonder. Brainiac, yeah, that's a guy I want to know more about. Not Harley Quinn or Ivy.
never
Well, I
heard of
got the game for you, Uri.
Listen, I've never heard of Brainiac, the most famous Superman villain next to Lex Luthor. So I would love to know what his backstory is. You know, the character that I've never heard of or never seen in any other forms of media.
Yeah.
So basically, he works for something where he makes his planet perfect. He's a perfectionist. Um,
Like
and
Beck.
he has one last job before he doesn't have to leave his planet anymore. And he says goodbye to his wife and his son, and his monkey comes with him on his adventure, and they get a shrink ray, and then they come back, and his planet's destroyed. And he's like, no, they destroyed my planet. Now I'm gonna make things perfect forever. And he goes through space, making cities on different planets perfect, and then shrinking them and freezing them and keeping them as statues.
That's a
That's
Brainiac
basically the
moment.
plot of Destiny.
Until he finds Earth, and then he starts making Metropolis the perfect city. Uh-oh. But he sees Harley and Ivy, so he has to get rid of them. But he's like, Harley is a unique piece of work. I will try to make her perfect. And then Lex Luthor's sister, I don't remember her name, she shows up on his ship, and she's like, nah, I like this one. Remember our deal? And he's like, fine, I'll let them go, and brainwash them. But Harley knows something's going on still in the back of her head. That Brainiac and Lex Luthor's sister are working together for some fucking reason, to do something. And then the episode ends.
So a little bit better than sort of the weaker parts, but not as great as the first two parts.
Yeah. I mean,
Makes sense.
I like when they do other things.
Yeah, I mean, it
I mean,
sounds sort of interesting, but not like something I'd like really want to watch, like
yeah,
as
oh
like
no, that's
season one
fair.
or two. But it's fair that it's you're taking a noble effort of continuing to watch.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I'm enjoying it. It's fine.
yeah, I mean, it's
It's
a
not.
nice sort of like background show. It sounds like now.
Yeah, I'm no. I mean, I can't do background shows, so I am like actually just watching it.
Nikola, how is Dexter? Are you still watching that?
We're not
I
talking
No,
about
no
Dexter.
Dexter, no
finished.
Dexter.
I'm not gonna talk about it, but I will say I finished season 3. I'm on season 4 now, and I mean, it's still good.
It's
You
still
already gave us
Dexter.
the recap of every single season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll do
Um,
2 seasons at a time, so I'll wait until I finish season 4.
No, you already
guys,
talked about season
Yeah, I
5
know.
and 6.
I'll wait until 5 and 6.
guys, Beck unfortunately was right. Unfortunately, maybe I just don't like old movies because I guess I did not fuck with Cleo from 5 to 7.
Thank God you understand this movie is just fucking boring.
Oh
It's
my god,
just
like
a woman walking around for 2 hours. I
I
fell
mean,
asleep, Uri. I fell asleep during the
okay, I didn't
movie.
fall asleep. I understand. It's this era of French new wave cinema where it's like they instead of like really traditional storytelling, they go for more of like personal, unpredictable sort of like other like new types of storytelling in this area because like I do like Agnes Varda as a director. I think she made some interesting choices in the movie, but ultimately it just felt like not enough like to merit like an interesting movie for me. I'm gonna be honest. That's sort of my critique. Like
Yeah.
I think it has some interesting messages about like how we see women and like the perspective of like a woman in like society like she's a pop star but also ultimately I don't think it like I don't know, I don't feel like it does anything really interesting enough with the message for me to get engaged.
Yeah,
But
speaking of old movies, did you
yeah,
have to watch Man with a Movie Camera for your film class?
what,
Man with a Movie Camera?
maybe I don't know, I've watched a lot of like, you mean like those early
Mm.
like 5 second videos?
Yeah, no, this one was like I don't know,
Maybe it might have been like
I
a
had to watch
French
it for an
name.
old class. It's like an hour and a half, and it's like a silent movie, no title cards. It's just a bunch of cool shots of cities and a guy filming them. Uh, and like I don't know, I feel like it's so hard for me to get engaged with like stuff, something that has
Yeah,
no
because
dialogue and
you've
no
been too much
story.
on Instagram, so you got constant
I no,
attention.
he hasn't been on Instagram. He
I
got
have.
hacked, remember?
Yeah,
Oh
Beck?
yeah, I got hacked,
he got
guys.
hacked.
Yeah.
His account got hacked.
But the thing is, I'm now realizing that now there's like ultimately there's actually only two types of movies really. There's
Yeah.
movies with like the slow sort of burn, like quiet movies, and loud movies.
What does that mean?
I feel like a loud movie has like an action type of thing. Like there's like there it feels like more out of this world, more like a movie. While those slower burn movies, the more quiet movies, they're more
Yeah.
just like realistic of a real life. And I think both have merits, but those are really the only two types of movies I see. Because I think nowadays it's primarily just sort of louder movies and more sort of actiony movies, which I think is fine. I think I prefer them because like those have more going on. But then you got like you got like the quieter movies. Like I would say, I guess I saw that TV was more of one of those quieter movies a
Yeah.
bit. Where something like we're also The Lighthouse. That's like what I would call a quieter sort of movies. Like
So
they
you're
like
saying
you
art
just
movies?
kind of, but like I don't know. It goes for many other kind of directions like that. But yeah, I would say those are sort of the two branches I see within movies. Because today I watched this movie in my class called Wendy and Lucy. It's from
Yeah.
2008, and it's kind of a depressing story. Michelle Williams, she's a pretty big actress, right? But she's like, it's from this female director, Kelly Reinhardt, and it's like one of those quiet movies, like where it's like kind of just a depressing like movie about a woman who's very like poor and she has like a dog named Lucy, and as she's trying to shoplift like some dog food from a store, she gets arrested and goes to like jail. When she goes back, her dog is like gone, and the whole movie she's trying to find her dog, like trying to call, and her car gets towed and like breaks down, and like she has a mechanic, but it's too much money, and she's like she needs to go to Alaska because that's where people they need help, and it's a very depressing movie because like
Mm,
she's just like so poor and like she can't take care of herself and like she lost her dog, but then she finds her dog, but it was at a foster home, and she decides to kind of just leave the dog there, but she'll come back one day, and then she leaves on the train, and that's how the movie ends.
mm.
So very kind of depressing. I thought it was good. I thought it was like one of those types of movies because there's this quote from Roger Ebert, a pretty big film director, who says movies are kind of like empathy generators because you can understand any person, any position in the world from watching a movie
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say this is that type of movie where you really kind of see the life of someone who has to be in this position. And I thought that was great for that part, but it is one of those quieter movies that I don't know if some people would like them. But yeah. So that's the most recent movie I watched, but there's other movies.
Do you want to get the I see 3 movies that you could probably just like wham bam bop out of here if you want to do
Yeah.
those.
SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, it
Cinema, peak cinema.
it was not as good as I remember, I'm gonna be honest.
That's a top 10 movie for me.
Really,
I think so.
it is a good movie,
I
but
think because I grew up with SpongeBob and that was one of the movies that I just played all the time on DVD.
it is an awesome movie. But I don't know, it didn't feel like it hit us not enough when I was a kid, which makes sense because like some of the plankton stuff was scary to me as a child, like what he was doing to
Yeah.
the like Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd love to see it re-released in theaters.
yeah. Shark Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Now, when you this is a very funny.
Didn't
Uh,
I was looking for that, I see you give that like 4 stars.
I gave it 3 stars back.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
But
I
Beck,
read that wrong.
could you read my review for it?
There
I
are
can't.
moments where you get high, where the movies you can't even understand it, but you just let the visuals appreciate on your body on all the senses. Did
Yeah,
you
that
write
makes
this
sense.
when you were high?
Yeah.
Because the
Um,
grammar sucks.
well, Beck, you also read it wrong because I don't think you know how to read.
Where the movie, you can't even understand it, but you just let the visuals appreciate on your body. All this.
On all the senses. Yeah, you have to
What the
like.
fuck are you guys talking about?
Well, you should pay attention more, I think.
No, I'm
Because
paying
Lava Girl,
attention.
at
I'm
the
just
end of the
meaning that
day, it's
that
a lot of
Uri's review makes no fucking sense.
Shut
Shark
up.
Boy and Lava Girl becomes at the end of the day just kind of bad CGI, but it's amazing when you're in that trance. You just embrace the movie.
I have never seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
You've never seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
No, I
Oh
have
my
not.
god, this guy sucks.
That's crazy, Aiden. I thought I would assume you more than anyone would watch it.
Yeah, that it would be a movie that I watched, but I have not seen it. Sorry, guys.
Frozen, I don't know. I think Frozen is not overrated. I think it's
No,
still one of the peak movies of that era.
it is. It very much is. It's very good.
Yeah, honestly, better than I think it might be better than Wreck-It Ralph.
I think so too. Because Wreck-It Ralph, there's a lot that makes me mad,
Yeah,
but there's a
but
lot that's still really good.
Tangle is the best one.
I think I can go both ways. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it
I haven't.
depends on which one
Maybe
I've watched more.
by next episode I'll have seen Tangled by now. But
Have you
I
not?
think
You have seen Tangled, right?
I mean rewatch it.
Yeah.
But no, it's a solid movie because it's like such a like a good sort of story and like I mean I don't hate the Hans like twist that much. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I also think it's fine. I mean, I
think
like
like
him as a character.
yeah, I think it was fine like twist. It's a bit predictable, but I don't think like I'm not Shea Frilla's that like hates
No,
it.
I did. I think though. I think what also makes it good is that it's more about Elsa and
The
Anna
sister.
rather
Yeah.
than yeah.
Yeah, and I was debating this with my friends, but I was saying Anna's way hotter than Elsa, personally.
Beck, why are you face palming?
Why? Because you disagree?
Yeah.
He likes the blue one better.
What would you guys say?
I think I agree.
I think Anna's a minor, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
No, they're 18.
I'm not so sure.
They literally both get married.
Yeah.
No, the
Or
time
almost get
period
married.
might still let them be
When did
underage.
Elsa get married?
She's like an
She turn-
asexual, I
Yeah,
assume.
she
That's
turns.
my theory.
She's the princess.
Yeah. It's
Or
her
the queen.
naming day. That's the beginning of the movie, Beck.
Okay, I googled it.
Whatever you say.
Elsa is 21.
Wow.
Mm.
And
Yeah, but that's
Anna?
the time of
You
Yeah,
Frozen
legally
2
drink
comes out.
alcohol.
Is 18, but then they're 24 and 21 and 2. So
So,
Hmm.
Beck, you prefer Elsa because she's blue.
Nah.
nah, he prefers.
Or is it Olaf?
Yeah,
I'm a Kristoff.
Guys, this
Truly
is Beck
rock
coming
and
out
picture horror
as
stuff.
a homosexual this episode.
Nikola likes Sven, I think.
I
I
assume
like
so.
the animal.
Yes.
I'm
I'm a big fan of Marshmallow, I think.
a big fan of
Of Radiohead,
Wessel.
personally, I prefer Radiohead to Marshmallow.
Yeah. I'm honestly, but Rapunzel beats both of them. Blonde hair Rapunzel beats both of them. Easy. Short hair,
You don't
brown
like
hair,
brown-
no. Brown
No?
hair Rapunzel sucks.
Are you one of those people that are like, she didn't need to cut it that short?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It was so
He
ugly.
would be one of those people.
Okay, I am kind of confused because I always thought she got her hair back in the end of the movie. Does
No.
she not? Like, and then I
No.
rewatch and she doesn't.
No.
Does
Like,
she just
she
never
appears
get
in
it back?
Frozen with her
No.
haircut.
Yeah. The show has her with.
Yeah, so how
I
does
don't-
she get back in the show?
I don't
Is
know.
that
I haven't seen
canon?
the show. I don't know. I
Wow,
don't
this
think
guy
so.
hasn't seen the show.
No, I haven't seen the show. I would like to. I've heard very
Yeah.
good things about it.
Wow, Aiden's the type of guy to watch the Tangled show before Avatar.
He is the
Yeah.
type of guy to
Well,
do
that's a
that.
better show, Beck.
Have
No.
you seen the Tangled show or Avatar?
No, but I can
Somebody
assume.
hasn't
Exactly.
watched
As
either.
somebody who has never watched
As
these
someone-
shows before.
Yeah. Guys, there is some news I want to talk about. The Pina
Yeah.
Colada song is being made into a movie.
Oh, I was really hoping that you would bring this up because if you weren't, I was going to.
Pina colada.
do you
This
guys
is
know-
fucking
Do you guys
funny
know
as
what the
fuck.
song is about?
It's about
It's about
man.
Guy
if you
cheating
like
on his
pina
wife with his wife.
coladas.
Yes. So it's about a man who is not in love with his wife anymore. So he puts out a newspaper ad that says, "Hey, if you like these things, hit me up. And then someone anonymously hits him up and he's like, great, let's
Yeah.
go. You like the same things that I do. Let's go meet up. And then they meet up and it's his wife. And then they're like, wow, we have a newfound appreciation for each other.
It's a good like kind of good story about romance rekindling, and I could
It,
see,
yeah,
Except for the fact that it is
very
kind of built on them cheating on each other.
yeah,
that's
like
true. But
that
it,
is very that's
that
very
is true.
toxic.
But
But hey, I didn't know you like pina coladas and sitting.
But Nikola,
Okay,
they
well,
love
they're
making
both
love
mad at each
in
other for the same
midnight
thing, so it
and the
cancels
dunes
out.
of the cave, Nikola.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Those
if
are
you're
dunes
the
of the
looking
cave.
for, come with me and escape.
When are they making OK Computer by Radiohead into a movie?
But the thing is, I think that's a pretty like I can see a very easy sort of predictable storyline like
Uh-huh.
for this movie being built because like the song is like there's a natural arc of the song, so I
Yeah.
can see a very natural arc for what this movie could be. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, the
they build up
3-minute song is gonna get what 60 times the or 40 times the length.
See, if you're gonna do something like that, you have to do the full. You have to do like like their like full discography. You have to look through all the songs that they have presented and sprinkle in some of the other ones as well. If you're
yeah,
gonna do something like that,
yeah. And then I don't know, they're probably gonna build up, oh, he's seeing this thing in the newspaper about a woman who does this, so he puts out his own ad. Then they go back. I don't know. I wonder if they're going to put the final scene in like the bar or something. It's like, oh, it's you,
And
and
then
then
they
Yeah,
that's
no,
both
like
they gotta
order
have like an
pina
they
coladas
gotta
and
build
the
on
movie
after that.
ends.
what Beck?
Absolute cinema.
They have to at least they can't like have the bar scene be the last scene. They need to like do an epilogue to stretch it out more.
No, the last scene is that
is
they're at
them
the bar,
having
they both order pina coladas, and then it's roll credits, and it's absolute
And
cinema.
they're
And you'd be like,
like,
"Do you like pina coladas?"
and it's like he saw the curves of her body, and he saw the
yeah.
curves of her face, and he's like, damn,
That's
that's my own lucky lady. Come with me and escape.
I
Yeah,
hope it's just a
that's
short
how the
film, it's
movie
like
would
3
have seen.
minutes
That would.
long.
That's how the movie would. Yeah.
What if it just ends on them like then they like I don't know ends on his like face just smiling as he realizes that's his wife.
It'd be cool if you know what would be even funnier? If they just completely throw out the entire concept from the song, and it's just, like, some wild, like, take on it,
That's
where it's,
probably
like, some,
what they're
like,
gonna
war
do.
super
drama.
deep,
They
like,
have to.
action movie with, like, some, like, crazy elements, and it just kind of vaguely follows the story of the song.
That's what they might do. I can see like this whole thing where they don't even listen to like the lore of the song. They're like, so it's about like a poor
It's literally
dog.
just an action movie about a guy who likes pina coladas, and that's it.
I hope so.
Um, yeah. So that's just a funny thing. Oscars is coming up. Conan is hosting, and
Very
guys, there
cool.
is some like huge drama with Amelia Perez. Like the lead actress is like not being like funded by Netflix for the Oscar campaign,
Yeah, she's
and
not allowed.
she's like
She has to pay her own money for travel and entrance to the Oscars.
and
Zoe
like
Saldana also said like she lost hope in the movie after, and I'm like, I lost hope 5 minutes into the movie. I don't
I
know
know,
how you
I was
still
about to
had
say,
hope.
maybe Netflix came to their senses and realized it's not a good movie and
Did
shouldn't
you
win
also see
Oscars.
her? Did you also see that she did an interview without Netflix's thing about the movie?
really.
Really?
She just did an interview. What did she do? Amelia Perez interview. What did she do? Um, hold on. Uh, Let me see if I can find it. Because I think she just like did a random interview
Um,
with somebody.
Okay, well, Uri, what
but
other
the thing is, yeah, and so like it's like now that recently the Critics' Choice Awards just came out, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Nora won like Best Picture,
Yeah.
and so I'm seeing a kind of a turn because of the AI use in like The Brutalist and like all this controversy around Amelia Perez. I'm seeing a potential future where Sean Baker wins Best Director and then Nora wins Best Picture. I'm seeing a potential.
I still think Brutalist is gonna win.
Nah, you guys sleeping on Dune 2 though. It's totally
You had 20 to 1 odds if you actually think
I
that,
know,
Nikola.
it's
I
not
think
gonna win.
Madam Web still has a chance.
Madam Web, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, unironically, for worst
surprise
movie of
game,
the year, yeah.
but Aiden,
What's the I don't they do the like opposite of the Oscars, like worst it's the raspberries,
the
isn't it?
Razzies.
Yeah,
I
the
fucking hate
Razzies.
the Razzies though. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I just don't like this like sort of the hatred of some sort of films because then they go about like I don't know. They nominated like a child for worst actress one time,
Oh,
That's
that's
really
fucked
funny.
up.
and like I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. It's just kind of annoying to me, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. Um, Aiden,
You said my yeah.
are you are you a big watcher of Tim Burton films?
I have seen a number of them.
Have you seen Big Fish?
I've not seen Big Fish.
Big
No.
Fish? So I'm going to talk about Big Fish now. So I had to analyze the structure for my structuring the feature film class, and Big Fish was the movie I chose. And
Yeah.
so it's a very interesting movie. I highly recommend it. I didn't expect to like it, but it was actually really fucking good. So it feels you have like sort of the early sort of I think because this is like what this is like 2003, I think. 2000, yeah, 2003, and it has sort of the classic earlier Tim Burton actors like Helena Bonham Carter, Steve Buscemi, sort of like those era of his working relationships, and then but as like so you have so this is how the layout of the movie goes. So there's like this this guy named Edward, and he really likes telling like stories about like great like mythical of like his life and like all of, like the stories. But his son has learned to has kind of come to despise those stories
Yeah.
because he knows that they're not real. And then like at his wedding, he told a story about like this big fish he caught on the day of his son's birth, and that's referred
Yeah.
to the big fish of the movie. And
Mhm.
and then they don't talk for like 3 years after that. But then the dad's chemo stopped working. So he goes back to his father, and before his dad dies, he just really wants the truth from his father. Like instead of all the lies he made up about his life,
Yeah.
he just wants to see the truth. And so we see this storyline of the son trying to figure out truths while interspersing the dad's past, and the dad and the younger dad is like played by Ewan McGregor.
Okay.
And so we see sort of like the fantastical past of the dad interspersed with the more grounded reality of the present, and like it feels very fantastical in the past but like very like grounded in the present, like, and you can really tell by the color grading. Like in the past it's very like bright, when the in the present it's like very grounded, and the son doesn't feel like he knew the truth of the dad. And so we were trying to think like how much of the dad's stories are true, because like there's definitely some that are embellished, but some that are like maybe they're real. And so we see
Mhm.
sort of that story, and then it really goes into the idea of mythology and like what's real and what's not. And it's like there's some great sequences because like the dad said like the dad was like he met like he like there was a creature stalking the dad's town, but it was like a but it turns out it was just like a big giant who became friends with, and then they went to the circus together,
Mm.
and then he met the love of his life, and it's a really like great movie about like sort of like finding out like the truth is what kind of you make of it, you know, like
Yeah.
at certain points, a man becomes his stories rather than like, and those stories can become immortal rather than the man who he was himself. And the dad just really loves telling these stories. Like for the son, it's kind of annoying, but everyone else, like even the son's wife, becomes enamored by his storytelling. And so I would highly suggest it. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
Uh, um,
I mean, I've seen a lot of Tim Burton. Tim Burton's really good at he's a really good director.
yeah,
Like regarded with aside from whatever problems or whatever he may have, because I know he's got a couple, um,
yeah.
he does have direct really good, and he has good aesthetics for what he does. I did count how many I'd seen. I've seen 10 Tim Burton films.
Well, then I would
Pretty
add
good.
this one to the list because
I've
very fun.
seen. I did not realize that Pee Wee's Big Adventure was his first movie that he directed.
Damn.
That's really funny. Amazing movie though. Yeah. So what have I've seen Pee Wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride, Alice in Wonderland, Frankenweenie, Beetlejuice.
Edward Scissorhands, did you see that?
I have seen it. Yeah, I counted that.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
well, I
found
gotta
out
watch more.
recently?
Yeah.
What,
Tim
Beck?
Burton has stole a lot from German expressionism.
Yeah.
Stole or inspired by?
Well, shot for shot recreations.
Oh, good.
Well, we love those. We love stealing. Art is stealing, Beck.
Mm.
Yeah, and so that's a really pretty fun movie. I would suggest it. Before we get into like more of the group ones, because I think there's at least 4 group
And
ones.
I have all my singles.
And
So,
I have 2 singles.
Nikola, do you have anything before we get into group things?
No, I haven't watched anything on my own.
Here, should I do my one other, or should I do my 2 other solo things?
Do
Yeah.
Scooter Man.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say first, I rewatched the Cowboy Bebop film again. It was in theaters this time. Excellent movie. Got chills when they played the credits song. One of my favorite songs. Incredible.
Was it Tank?
No, it's not Tank. That's the intro. The outro for the movie is Nikola. Very, very good song. It is. I listen to it every time it. Anyway, I do want to talk about my friendly neighborhood Spiderman, because guess what, guys? It's the animation.
Luna Snow shows up?
She does show up for like in a screenshot.
Cinema.
I'll get it out of the way now. Peter becomes friends with Harry, and we see Harry's Instagram and that he's friends with Luna Snow. And I'm just
Snow
gonna
coming
say,
up? Luna
no,
Snow?
I just explained it. It's out of the way, okay?
No
We
Luna
don't.
Snow?
I just explained it.
Oh,
She
I'm
shows
sorry.
up in an image, and that's it. I just explained it to you guys.
Yeah, but how long do we hold on this image? Like,
Probably 2 seconds.
okay, so can
Okay.
you get like a frame by frame breakdown of this? Like, does it
So
pan
basically,
down?
Luna
Do we
Snow
like
is in a
zoom into
Japanese.
the
Is
photo
it
on Luna Snow?
Korean?
Hands off of it to other images.
Why would it go away from Luna Snow?
We're not talking about Luna Snow anymore,
This
okay?
show's woke.
Oh my god. Okay. So let's start. So last time, I have 3 episodes to cover, by the way. They released 3 episodes since last time.
Oh, fantastic! You know what
It's a
else
good
has 3
Wait,
episodes that we
say
can
that
talk about?
again.
So anyway, so last time Peter's identity was found out by Norman Osborn, if we
And his
recall.
father has waves.
Norman Osborn is the father.
Yeah, and he got those cornrows.
Okay, so anyway, hold on. I have to watch an ad on Disney Plus before I can start skipping ahead
Oh
through the
yeah,
episode.
isn't there like Disney Plus ads in like the premium tier now?
No, it's just that I had to watch the intro where it goes "Ba-ding" and does the Disney
Oh,
Plus
that.
logo. I just had to watch that. Anyway, so Spider-Man, Norman Osborn has seen him, and he's now conflicted on whether or not he even wants anymore. He's like, Nico, I have an interview with Norman tonight. I might tell him what's up, that I don't want to work there anymore. And Nico's like, okay. And then she's also, here's something that I noticed. So she lives in a foster, and her foster mother last name is O'Hara. It is not like the other guy. She did not exist when I Googled her. Every other named character does exist when I Googled them, though. I will not go over them unless they are important, though.
Is there a son named Miguel?
No, no, there's no further anything from there. So
how does this tie into Spider-Verse?
it doesn't. God damn it. Okay. But I would like to talk about how it ties into the MCU when I get there. So anyway, Peter goes to dinner with Norman Osborn, and he's rented out an entire restaurant. And Norman, he's like, Peter, you are Spider-Man, and that's awesome. You saved my son. What you do around the city is amazing, and I'm so happy that you do it, but I would like to help you
So
because
when
you
does he get
are
green goblin juice?
Shut up, please. I would just like to talk.
But when does he get the goblin aids?
He doesn't get goblin aids.
I'm
Kinda
disconnecting,
does.
Nikola.
That's gonna screw up the recording, just saying.
Do I care?
Yes, you do.
All right, I'm gonna mute Nikola. Actually, okay, he's
That'll
muted.
make
I
me
can't hear him anymore.
disappear from the
So
call.
basically, Peter is at dinner, and Norman is like, "I would like to help you, Spider-Man. Also, I want to give you a lot of money so that you succeed in life and succeed in working here." And Peter's like, "I don't know. This is something that I do on my own. I don't want to get if you know. I don't want to have other people know. Like, I don't want May to." And Norman is like, "Peter, I applaud you for when something comes up, you don't think about yourself, you think about other people. That's really cool. Spider-Man, here's a check for $1,000 for working at my company for 1 day."
Bro, 1,000?
And then
That's
Peter's
like-
like, maybe I should not quit working at Oscorp. So then he goes home and he's like, "I don't know. I don't want to work." But then he sees that Aunt May is going through a bunch of Ben's old stuff because she's going to sell it because money's tight. And he sees the bills on the counter and he's like, "Uh-oh, maybe down because I need to do it for Aunt May." But he finds Ben's old camera. So now Spider-Man has a camera.
Cool.
Like from
like the
Spider-Man.
guy, like from like the
Like from Spider-Man. Yeah.
yeah.
Like from
if only there was
Spider-Man.
some way he could make money
Wait,
selling
camera.
photos.
But what if there's like a
Of
guy named Eddie
Spider-Man?
Brock?
We have he's not here
What
yet.
if
I
there's
hope
a
he
guy named J. Jonah?
Anyway, so now he's talking to Nico. He's like, "Nico, now I'm
How do you get
unsure
those
if
pictures of Spider-Man?
he's like, Nico, I'm unsure whether or not I want to quit because he is gonna give me a crap ton of money, and that would really help May." And Nico's like, "Yeah, but if May knew you were staying just for her, she'd want you to quit." And he's like, "Yep. So we're not gonna tell May that I wanted." And then they're going to lunch, and Lonnie, he's like, "Hey, Parker, we aced our freaking chemistry thing. Lunch is on me." And Peter's like, "Thanks, Lonnie. I can't accept that." And he's like, "Nah, bam, I'm a good character." And then Peter and Pearl walk away, and Lonnie tries to buy, but his card declines, so he just ends up not eating. So
I'm noticing a bit of a wealth gap here, like
we're
wealth
noticing a
inequality.
wealth, and then while they're eating, Lonnie's like, "Parker, you're awesome." And then he gets a call from mom, and he has to and he's like, "Pearl, I need you to drive me home now." I am going to skip over the Lonnie stuff right now because he has an overarching through line through the episode, like through these 3 episodes that I want to just come back to. Lonnie's pretty out of the picture for these next couple episodes, so let's just keep that in mind. But he has stuff going on. He's the beat. So Peter, he goes around.
Wait, is
taking
it one a week or do multiple come out each week?
3 came out this week.
Okay.
Yeah, so Peter's taking photos around town until he sees these 2 people that we see them earlier in the episode getting these weapons from like a trash can, and then the trash can runs away after they deposit the money in it. And one of them has knives on their hands, and one of them runs really fast. And he's voiced by Roger Craig Smith, like from Sonic. So Peter's fighting them, and he's getting his ass beat. And he's getting his ass beat until he gets a call from, and Norman's like, "Hey, you're getting your ass beat. Here's some helpful advice. Gotta go. Something came up." And Peter's like, "Wow, thanks for help the bad guys." And then Peter goes back. Oh wait, no. He doesn't. No, hold on. And then Peter beats the bad guys, and he goes to Norman, and he's like, "Norman, I'm going to take you up on your offer for both working here and you helping me out with Spider-Man, because clearly I am not good enough And also, I would like the Norman Oscorp money. And Norman Oscorp is like, cool, I'm happy to work with you, Spider-Man. And then the episode ends. And then we go to the next episode. So Peter like does a speech, but he's bad at it in his like internship until he gets called in by Norman Osborn. And he meets Harry on the way up, and they talk for a little bit. They meet for the first time, Peter and Harry. And then Peter comes upstairs to Norman, and here's what Norman says: "Hey, have you heard about the new Sokovia Accord?"
What?
Right
So
from the MC.
So I'm gonna talk about because there's some pretty interesting MCU connections here. Because he starts talking about the Sokovia Accords in Civil War, and we see a screenshot or like an animated screenshot of the scene where Ant-Man grabs War Machine.
Mm.
So we see that, and then he also mentions Age of Ultron and the Battle of New York. So it's like,
Ooh.
where are we in like this timeline here?
Because he's from New York. I feel like he'd know about the Battle of New York.
He does know about the Battle of New York. Like they
Okay.
both talk about it, and then they talk about like the Hulk and the Iron and the Hulkbuster scene, and then the city lifting up scene also. Like they talk about both of those, and it's like, what kind of alternate non-Spider-Man MCU timeline are we living in? Very
So what I'm
cool.
hearing is Luna Snow in the MCU.
No, we're not saying Luna Snow in the MCU.
I can definitely
This
see
isn't
Luna
the
Snow in
MCU. It's some other fucked up
It's the
timeline.
fuck CU.
But it
Mm.
is really interesting, and I do want to see how much they're gonna explore of it being this like tangentially related universe. But I just found that really interesting.
The one
Um,
thing you can always count on is Spider-Man messing up the MCU timeline.
Yep. So Norman is like, "Hey, Peter, the Sokovia Accords are happening. Just stay on watch because I don't know, but I'll be in charge of it. Don't worry. But right now, we need to get you a new suit because your suit sucks." And Spider-Man's like, "All right, I have some drafts of a suit that I'm coming up with." And Norman's like, "No, I have scientists working around the clock making you." So this episode is Peter trying different suits, and they don't work out. And then they make a suit that does work out. Here, let me send it to you.
Does it look good?
Um, yes, it's cool looking. I can say that. Um, Here, I will send it in general. That is what it looks like. Um, it's cool. I do like it a lot.
It's very
Um,
white.
It is very white. He does express that he doesn't like that and wishes that it would be more red like Captain America. Uh, this Spider-Man likes Captain America. That's like his thing. He doesn't like Iron Man. He likes Captain America.
Goody two shoes.
What do you mean goody two shoes? It's happening during Civil War. Captain America is actively on Bucky.
Well,
Yeah.
Technically, he's not
treason,
goody.
treasoner,
Treasoner.
treason, Nazi.
Anyway, and then there's some bad guys break out of prison or steal money or whatever, and Spider-Man stops them. Or no, he doesn't stop them actually. They get away, but he saves some people from a fire, and he really likes the suit. He's like, "Wow, what a cool suit." But a lot of like 3 out of 4 of them get caught. So the one that doesn't get caught takes the money for themselves and brings it to the inventor that's been supplying all the bad guys with their weapons, and it's revealed to be Doc Ock.
Oh.
So Doc Ock is going to be, I think, the main villain of this season.
Ooh, we all
Yeah.
love Doc Ock.
We do
Doc
like
Ock
Doc
with
Ock.
no connection to Peter.
It is, yeah, that is very interesting too. He is
It's
just
abnormal.
he's like just a behind the or he's like a black
Some kind of man in the chair.
he's like a black dark web, like shady weapons dealer, which is
Mm.
cool. I like that. I like that concept. So the one lady that escapes buys a helmet from Doc Ock, and she becomes the unicorn. She has a helmet that shoots lasers.
Wait, that's a
Um,
Spider-Man villain?
The unicorn, yes. I have learned a lot
Okay.
of different Spider-Man characters and Marvel characters
I can
over
just
watching
imagine
this
you
show.
They
pausing
can't all
every
be
5
number
minutes.
10s. They can't
Yes.
all be hits. Spider-Man
every
character.
every 5 minutes, I pause the show to who's this character? Who's Big Dawn? Who is the unicorn?
They got Big Wheel? Is Big Wheel in this one?
Big Wheel has not shown up yet. I really hope he does. If anything has Big Wheel, I hope it's this movie, or this show. But she gets the unicorn horn, and I also forgot to mention at the end of the everyone from the burning cars. He gets back to Norman's place. He's like, Norman, this suit is in. He rips off the mask, and Harry's there. So now Harry knows that Peter's Spider-Man. But this is
guy
good for
fucking sucks at hiding his identity.
this is good for Norman though, because Norman's a busy man, and Harry has no friends. So now Harry is gonna be the guy at the
Not Ned.
no, it's Harry. Harry's gonna be the guy at the desk. And then he goes to school. So, but Peter's about to be late for school. So Harry drives him to school, and Nico's like, dude, what the fuck? You know Harry Osborn? He's like the most popular guy on Instagram. Look at him hanging out with Luna Snow.
Instagram.
Oh my god, it's Luna Snow!
Look at him hanging out with Luna Snow. And Peter's like, well, if you don't like him, then why are you following him? So then Peter, after school, he's Spider-Man going out on missions, and Harry's like, hey, Peter, there's a police thing going on at the police place. You gotta go stop it. And it's the unicorn. She has the thing, and she's breaking her buddies out of prison. And Peter, he's losing because the helmet can learn his fighting style and track his movements. So he's getting his ass beat. But he's also like protecting citizens. And the unicorn realizes that he protects people, so she shoots a laser at her friend, and Spider-Man protects him. And then as she's about to kill Spider-Man, the other guy, he takes the helmet and he breaks it because he's like, no, you cannot kill him. You shot at me. You're a bad guy.
Just because you bad guy does
You are
not mean
bad.
you
We
bad
are
guy.
bad. You are
Bad
bad
guy?
guy. And Peter's like, hey, thanks for saving me. He's like, we
Like,
are
that
not
was really good.
we are not friends, Bugman. Do not thank me. And so Peter's like, all right, well, cool. And then he's like, oh shoot, I was gonna go to the movie. Nico. And then he gets to the movies on time, but he also invites Harry. And now Nico's like, I'm sad because my friend has other friends invited to the movie with us, instead of just being excited that super popular Harry Osborn is seeing the movie with them. And now I get to talk about the really depressing B plot that I don't want to see come to fruition because it's making me really sad. So remember when I said 3 episodes ago that Lonnie had school early? He had to have Pearl drive him home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He's a
here's what
chameleon. He's Craven.
I already okay. So
They
so-
are here.
Okay, one of the characters, one of the 4 Russian characters is the chameleon, is Dmitri. At least in name. So I will say that. But he gets a call from his mom. He has to go home. He runs inside. He says, "Mom, what happened?" And she's like, "Your brother joined a gang. He was picked up by the police, and when I got to the door and I saw the police, I was afraid. But then when I saw your brother was with him, I didn't know whether to be more scared or happy." And that was a really good line to have, I think. But she's like, he's in his room. You need to go talk to him. And so Lonnie runs upstairs. His brother is out the window and gone. And so he's like, fuck. So he goes to where he like follows him on his like tracker or whatever. He has like family tracker plan, whatever.
Life 360.
Yeah, he has Life 360. So his brothers joined this thing called the 110th Street Gang,
That's so stupid.
led by Big Donovan.
What the
Uh,
fuck
A
are
lot
these
of big
names?
names, but no big wheel.
Okay, no, Big Don is an actual character. He's like a Punisher, Deadpool, or Punisher.
Oh, okay.
He's like a Punisher, Luke Cage, like street level bad guy character. He's been in, I think, but so Lonnie comes to pick up his brother. He says, "We're going now," but Big Don, he's not gonna let that happen. He says, "Your brother's one of us now. We can't let him leave." And so Lonnie makes the agreement that his brother can go if Lonnie joins the gang.
Ooh.
And so Big Don accepts the deal, and now Lonnie is stuck in this gang.
Lonnie.
So that's the one episode. The next episode, he's been missing football practice because he's being like, he has to go do the gang stuff because he's being called on by Big Don. But so he's missing practice. He doesn't want to miss practice. He likes football. He's like, "All right, coach, I'm coming to practice today." And right as he's about to play, Big Don calls him. He's like, "You gotta come. You gotta come. I'm Big Don." And so Big Don, he goes to Big Don, and Big Don's like, "All right, rookie, you're doing your homework. No, you gotta go get us food." So Lonnie,
So he's just a pledge.
so Lonnie has
He's
to
a
go
DoorDash driver.
across New York to go get some tacos or whatever.
Tacos?
He has to get tacos.
It's
They want
Taco
tacos.
Tuesday.
Until another gang stops him.
They want the tacos.
I don't remember what.
Is this just a Uber Eats ad at the end of the day?
It's not. It's not. What was her name? Carmilla. But this woman, Carmilla Black, stops him, and she's like, "Hey, let the 110th gang know that we say hi." And then she sticks a guy after him, and he starts running. He catches the train. He makes it, and he's like, "Hey, Big Don, you knew there were guys waiting for me. What the fuck?" And he's like, "Well, you got to learn how to fight, you fucking pussy."
He says pussy?
He doesn't say pussy,
Does
but
not
he's
say-
like, Lonnie's like, "Why am I in this game? I don't want to. I'm just gonna go. I don't care what happens." Hey,
Mm.
but they know your face. They now know who you are. Your family isn't safe anymore. Do you know why we exist? We exist. The 110th Street Gang exists so that the Scorpions gang, doesn't come and like kill your family. So Lonnie's up against the Scorpion. That's what he's doing.
Mm.
And so the next episode, he's called back by Big Don. He's like, "Hey, they're on our turf. We gotta fuck them up." So again, Lonnie doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to gang fight. But the Scorpion, he's a fucking crazy bitch. And so they're fighting. Everyone's fighting. Both gangs, 110th Street and the Scorpion's gang, they're fighting. And while Big Don is fighting someone else, the Scorpion pulls out a fucking knife and he goes to stab him in the back. But Lonnie's a football player. He tackles him. Lonnie gets stabbed in the back. But they all run away because the Scorpion's like, "Oh, you're a crazy fucker. Ooh, I'm gonna kill you later." And then they go back to their hideout or whatever. And Big Don is like, "Damn, this guy's strong. He's big. This guy fucking almost killed him. We gotta give you a fucking nickname. Gravedigger? No. Tombstone."
Oh my
And then Lonnie's like, "You know
God.
what? I like that name.
Say that again.
I like that name." So Lonnie is just being indoctrinated into a cult, into a gang, and I don't like it because he's just slowly becoming the Tombstone, and I don't want to see it happen. Lonnie's good, strong, hearted character that it's just hard to see, and we're gonna have like Peter fighting him at some point. So sad. I don't want that to happen. But great news, guys. Not only is the story good, but the animation is getting better. There were multiple scenes that I said, hey, that was really good looking, actually.
Shocking.
So it's getting better.
Well,
Yeah.
it sounds like a really interesting sort of foray into the world of Spider-Man to like a different lens of what I think the MCU has provided, even though it's some fucky timeline which I don't fully understand.
I don't
It should
But
be a
either.
lot more
I have no
street
idea.
level, I think.
I think they just wanted like more like Superman stories, and this is a way to get like sort of like I don't know earlier Spider-Man cartoons, and we get to see sort of a modern version because like they have Instagram in this universe,
Yeah.
and
They have Luna
well, I
Snow
mean
in this universe.
The Penguin had TikTok, so we're
I
getting to
mean,
see yeah,
yeah.
but it sounds like an interesting sort of show, and like it sounds like they're doing at least something interesting with the character of Spider-Man here. Where we're getting to see like it feels very comic adapted.
Yeah. I mean, it feels very comic adapted. There's hella characters that are just different, like other characters that exist.
Yeah.
Like the four Russian characters are all based on other characters. One is Grift, one is the Rhino, one is the Unicorn. They're just other characters in name. Um,
Yeah.
and that's really cool, I think. I
I
don't
know
know.
it's really it's actually I think it's very interesting and like it gives me some hope for like some interesting stuff. It sounds like it's doing something a little different than what the MCU is doing, which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, if you can, I would say watch it.
Yeah, but how hard do you think the barrier of animations attack weakening this show?
It's getting better. Like
Okay, that's nice.
I've gotten used to it at this point. I wish it was better, but
Yeah,
sorry, that's kind of what we're stuck with.
I mean, we
yeah,
lived through Ruby animation, Aiden.
We did.
yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else, Aiden? You
No, that's all I've got.
Beck
All
At
solo.
least
right.
for solo. At least for solo stuff.
Let me just say, I watched a lot of stuff, so get ready.
Okay.
First thing,
First things
bam.
first.
I'ma say
So,
all the words inside my
guys,
head.
$40 on the line.
Shut the
So
fuck up.
I watched Jazz Emu Death.
So I did have him watch Jazz Emu Death.
Jazzy,
Yeah.
yeah. How was
So
it?
Aiden already
Back what?
talked about it.
But you didn't.
Well, I thought good
What'd you rate
movie.
it?
4
He,
stars.
he gave it 4.
You are not gonna get in his post, his next
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it on the Jazz Emu YouTube community post.
Yeah. Well, it was
Very
also on
sadly.
Instagram. It's also on
Okay.
Instagram. And,
Yeah, no, you need like 5 stars to get on
yeah.
there.
Well, why don't you talk
Okay.
about the other 2025 movie that you watched that we all haven't?
Okay. Presents.
No, this is the
Oh.
Steven Soderbergh movie.
Yeah, this is the
Yes.
horror movie that Beck watched.
I
So,
sent a reel about this movie to Beck.
really?
Because the thing about this movie, the guy, Steven Soderbergh, like not Steven Spielberg to be confused. He's a pretty like big director. He directed the movie Contagion and a few other things. He edit the whole movie sort of by himself. Like as soon as he finished like filming on the day, on the way ride back to his home, he would edit in like the car and he
Oh.
would have it like done by the time he has
I
it.
want you to know
Yeah.
this movie is a bunch of just long shots, single takes.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's
good.
no editing.
Yeah. I'm just
It's
saying.
not that impressive. I could edit this
But
film.
I'm just saying by
It's
the
like
end of the
it never cuts between like different perspectives. It holds on one single take for
would it be
like
one of
5
those
minutes at a time.
is it one of those quiet movies I was talking about?
I'd say it's more action heavy. You guys
Really?
good if
What
I
is it? So
spoil
what
it?
is Presence about? I'm fine. Is it feels like an
Alright.
Apple TV Plus movie, is it?
So Presence, there's this house, and we're basically a camera, and we just start
Is there a
flying around the
presence?
house. Yeah. And then the real estate agent goes in and is like, I want to sell this house to this family. It was the dad, the mom, the son, and the daughter. Okay. And then we cut ahead to they're all now living in the house. But guess what? The sister is depressed because her best friend overdosed.
Oh, not
And
again.
I hate when
she's
my best friend
sad.
overdoses.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
then,
it's happened to
guys,
you, Uri, so
guess
Like
what?
9 times.
what?
She can start hearing voices in the house and stuff
Is it
starts
she is
moving
a
around.
she can feel her presence?
There's some kind of presence.
Fuck!
And then the brother is kind of basically just an asshole being like, sister, you're depressed and you're insane. You're dumb. And then she's like, that's mean. And he's like, fuck you. And the dad's like, you're being mean to your sister. He's like, fuck you, dad. And the mom's like, I love my son and I hate my daughter. Because the son is like a professional or like a high school swim prodigy. So he's good, cool. But then, guess what happens? The swimmer guy's friend comes over, and they're walking together, and they see a sister, and then they walk to another room, and the friend says to the brother, "Your sister, kinda."
He banging, bro.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and then cut to next scene, they're having sex on the bed.
Hell yeah.
I love when I have sex almost as soon as I cut to another camera shot.
Yeah.
And then,
That's my
like, the
favorite.
guy's like, I don't have a lot of control in my life because my parents are annoying, but I want you to have the control in this relationship. So he says that, and then the girl goes to shower, and he immediately drugs her with OJ.
OJ?
So,
like the
let me
like
tell you something. This guy fucking loves poisoning people with OJ. He does it 5 separate times in the movie.
You mean
orange juice,
you mean
Nick?
orange juice, right?
Yeah, orange juice.
What does that mean? You poison people with orange juice?
Not the murderer,
He
right?
gets orange juice and then he mixes like a sedative in there.
Because the way you
some
just
said
roofies
it was
people.
like he poisons
I-
them with orange juice.
Or he
Like
just
that's
No,
roofies
he
a bunch of people.
poisons the orange juice. Because for some reason, I think the poison in like normal stuff, you can taste it, but in orange juice, you can't taste it. So he poisons the OJ, but then guess what? The presence shakes the OJ off the table and it spills. So the presence is kind of helping the girl.
Whoa! Her
Um,
friend is helping her? No way.
and then one night the brother is again being an asshole, and he's like, I bullied this random woman, and the presence gets mad at him and completely trashes his room. And
Wow.
everyone in the family now sees this, so they're all like, okay, so the presence is really real.
damn.
And then they hire like a psychic to go in there. The psychic's like, spirits, they get very time confused. Like time works differently in the spirit realm. But I know it's gonna be something with an unopened window. That's what the spirit's mad about. Okay, and then cut to the parents are out of town. And the friend and the brother come over. And the friend and the brother are hanging out and they're like, let's drink some alcohol, baby. But the guy's like,
Baby.
I don't like just plain alcohol. We need a mixer. You got any orange juice? So he then roofies the brother. So the brother
This
ends
guy
up being,
only
Wow, you
roofies
weren't
people.
joking. Wow.
I was not joking. And then, okay,
What a fun hobby.
the brother falls asleep. The guy walks back into the kitchen, pours another glass of orange juice, and then roofies that one to give to the sister.
Shut the fuck up, Beck.
Holy
This-
shit.
Hey, orange. So much orange juice.
This guy loves
Okay.
drugging people.
And then the guy goes up and he roofies the girl, and the girl's laying there passed out. And he pulls out a specific vial and he starts being like, this is the thinnest plastic wrap in the world. It is 1 millimeter. You cannot comprehend how thin this plastic wrap is. And then it's like, I love this plastic wrap. I use this plastic wrap to kill your best friend. He's the murderer, and he's gonna kill the girl by putting the plastic wrap on her face. But
Beck,
then
you went to theaters to watch this?
yes.
Mm.
And then the spirit is like, no, I don't want this girl to die. So the spirit goes down and wakes up the brother with some loud noises. And the brother's like, okay, no, what happened? He runs upstairs, and then in the course of 2 seconds, he runs in, sees the guy, sees his sister, and instantly fucking dives
Roofies
into
them with
him, grabs onto him, and both of them dive out of the closed window and both die.
Good.
Makes sense. Clearly.
So then, cut to after, and the entire family is sad, like, guys, we have to move out because the brother died in this house. I don't really want to live in there anymore. And we go, and there was this whole thing where the mirror in this thing is really important because it's cool. And we cut to the mirror, and the mom touches the mirror, and the camera points to the mirror, and guess who we see in the reflection?
The brother.
The
opioid
brother.
girl.
The
Oh.
brother was the spirit the entire time.
The one that was alive
Yeah.
was the spirit the entire time?
Well, because time works differently in the spirit realm.
Shut up, dude. Shut the
It's
fuck
it's
up.
it's like Dr.
This is
Manhattan. He's living through everything all the time.
This is
Have
like
you
Owl
seen
House
Dr.
level writing over here.
Have you seen Watchmen, Aiden?
Oh.
Then
Oh, I forgot
Okay.
Dr. Manhattan is a Watchman character. Yeah.
yeah. So that's Presence. I thought it
Wow.
was a good movie. I was going in there my friends were like, hey, do you want to watch Presence? It's this horror movie. I'm like, fuck, I hate horror movies. But it was not a horror movie, so I was.
Oh, it wasn't?
It sounds interesting. I mean, what do you
I-
give
Yeah,
it,
no, it
3.5?
was. It's kind of like the same way Scream is a horror movie, where it's not scary, but there's one jump scare.
Okay, I'd like to
Smile
watch.
2.
I'd like to watch. No, Smile 2 is a horror movie.
Yeah. But it's only one good jump scare.
Okay, yeah, but the overall movie is
Yeah.
scary. No, but I'd watch this if it was on something.
Yeah,
I watched this on
And
Apple TV Plus.
I'm counting it as a 2025 release because you could not watch it anywhere before January.
What
and,
does it say
Google
on
says-
Letterboxd, Beck? What does it say on Letterboxd?
Are we going off Letterboxd? I personally don't think we should, because random movies like The Day the Earth Blew Up, that says 2024. A random movie that's released in the summer says 2023. I think we should go US theatrical release or streaming release
It's hard
in
to
2025.
to datify it when we look back. And Letterboxd is our only.
I get what Uri is saying, but also it would benefit me to do what Beck is saying. So
it
I would
also just is annoying when a new movie comes out and you're like, wow, I want to watch this for the 2025 list, and it just doesn't count.
Fine.
Okay, so US theatrical release in 2025 or streaming release in 2025.
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing I watched, Grave of the Fireflies.
Wow.
Oh my
Now-
god, this is known as one of the saddest movies out there.
This is
Yeah.
one of the saddest movies of all time. It's also the highest rated animated film on Letterboxd. So this
Oh,
is
yeah,
not a
that's what
good
I
movie
forgot
to
you're
watch
doing that.
party. Let me just say.
Oh.
Because
Mojo.
randomly, at a scene where we see a burned down village and a corpse of bodies, my friend said Mondays, am I right? And it kind
That's
of really
relatable.
kills the tone
Mondays,
of the
am I
movie.
right?
No, I think that
Um,
would add to it.
No, you have really cool
So-
friends.
The main way I can describe this is Uri or Aiden, have either of you seen Godzilla -1?
No. Nikola has.
Okay. Well, so it's kind of like the opening part of Godzilla -1, where it's the aftermath of Japan during World War II. So, but right now it takes place during World War II. So first, there's this brother and the sister, and their village burns down, and their mom dies. So now they have to figure out how to live for themselves. Uh, and they go and they try to live with their aunt, but the aunt's mean and doesn't give them a lot of food. And they start trying to work, and then progressively throughout the story, we just see them selling everything they own, and they move from the aunt's house to a random cave by a lake, and then they go from like eating rice to eating like random porridge and soybean scraps, and eventually the sister is like dying of malnutrition. So the brother is doing everything he can. He starts like stealing food. He starts like randomly during the air raids when everyone's in the shelter. He goes into the cities to loot from the houses while they're empty, just trying to do anything to like help his sister. And eventually the sister just dies, and it's so sad. And there's like it's so many beautiful animated scenes. Like there's a great scene where it's like they need a lantern, but they're like, we can't get a lantern. So they just get a bunch of fireflies together and they
And
open
like
their
there's
hands.
the grave of the
All the
fireflies.
fireflies float out and is glowing so great. And then all the fireflies die. And then she builds a grave for the fireflies.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
But this movie does do a kind of weird thing where the movie starts with the main guy saying, I died September 1945. And it's just him dying in a train station.
I
And
like
it
it.
feels like they took the scene from the end of the movie and they stuck it at the start. Because we had one friend who like came in, missed that intro part, and then watched the movie, and then went back and watched the first scene, and it was like, I don't know. I don't know if it was like it was kind of a happier ending because in the first scene, what happens is the brother dies and he's reunited with the sister in the afterlife, and they're just having a good time. But normally the movie just ends as like the guy's like, well, I had to leave. I spread her ashes, and that's the end of the movie. So
Wow.
I feel like if you go back to the start, it comes to like a more hopeful ending because like they just get reunited in the end.
I like that because sometimes like when you change like act by accidentally like watching something or like missing an episode or like missing like a little bit of the movie because for example if it ends with us we missed the first
Yeah,
scene which definitely alters the rest of the movie.
Yep.
And
yeah,
so it's kind of interesting how different sort of experiences, even though you should try to see a movie the way they intended it or a TV show, it can be interesting how it alters your perception. I think this was kind of like the concept of how Kaleidoscope was sort of founded on, like the way you change the story changes
yeah.
how you see how the themes and the messages.
For sure.
I do want to talk about that because I had an experience like that. So
Have you
I
heard of
think
this show called Kaleidoscope?
no.
Yes, yes,
So
you did. I did.
2 days ago, I think. Yeah, 2 days ago.
As opposed to one day ago.
I wanted to go see Love Hurts.
Yeah.
So I bought a ticket for like a 7:15 showing of Love Hurts. And my friend texted me, "Hey, do you want to go to the 8:30 showing of Love Hurts?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, I already bought this ticket. I can't refund it.
You
So I'll
can
just go
refund
in
it.
there and I'll walk into a random movie and wait for you." Um, so I randomly walk into this movie called what was it called again?
Oh yeah, you
Uncut
did
Gems.
say that
It
you
was
watched.
called Santosh. And I really like doing this sometimes with movies or shows where it's trying to like solve what the plot is in this movie. So I had a couple of revelations in this movie. So
Wow.
first it starts with a cop, and the cop is looking for this guy, and we don't know who this guy is.
Well,
But eventually
well, hold on. Do we not know who this guy is, or did
We
you
know who
not
the
know
guy
who
is.
it
I don't know who this guy is. I'm going through my personal experience of the movie.
Okay.
So she's looking for this guy, and I'm like, is this her brother or is this someone? But they catch him and they're like, fuck you. Do you like touching women? And then start kicking him on the ground. I'm like,
No.
so he's a rapist. Okay,
Beck
very
Beck really
different.
liked the rapist.
Okay, and then I'm like, okay, this changes everything. So
This changes
they take
everything.
him, and they don't take him to the police station. They take him to a random dude's house. I'm like, why did they take this to a random dude's house? Turns out he's the dad of the daughter that was raped. And we found out she wasn't just raped, she was killed. So this guy's an extra asshole. So they just start fucking torturing this guy, beating him up, and he keeps saying, I didn't do it. I was not the guy. And eventually the woman cop grabs like a metal beam and just starts wailing on him, and he dies. And then
Wow.
the next scene is her going through his phone, and he's like, photos of him during like the time when it happened. She's like, fuck. So he wasn't the guy, and I kind of killed an innocent dude. That was not good. And then she goes to like some rich people that we probably had seen earlier in the film, and the rich person's like, and she's like, did you do it? He's like, I mean, I did do it. Did you do it? So
Guys,
he's the
you
bad
haven't done it.
guy. So that's when I had to leave. But here's what I can piece together from the entire movie, what I missed. So from before what I told you, there was this woman cop, and she was either friends or sisters with this lady. But the lady got killed, so she needs to get revenge. So she looks for the guy, the stuff happens, and then after what happened, I was just like, she needs to find proof. She finds proof, and she arrests the guy, and the day is saved. So overall, from what I saw in this movie, it felt kind of generic. I would not recommend it. But also, I did not watch the movie,
Yeah,
so
Beck.
Yeah, so it doesn't count.
Beck, I
so it
feel
does
like
not count.
I feel like that's more than just watching it a different way. You just kind of disrespected the movie by watching a little bit of the middle part.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I would never have watched it anyway, so
Cope.
I gotta see a
Um,
bit of it. Okay, last thing for solos, I think. What do you guys think is the highest grossing non-English film of all time?
Is it
Probably that
Ne
one
Zha?
show that you sent. Yeah.
Kung Fu
No, it's
Panda in
Ne Zha 2.
So,
The
why did you watch
first
the first?
film to ever pass $1 billion at the domestic box
That's
office.
cool, I think.
So that no film's ever done that before in history, Aiden.
Yeah, that is
That's
cool
crazy,
then, I
man.
guess.
Okay, well, I saw it, and I'm like, okay, well, if this film is breaking a lot of records, I bought tickets to go see it Thursday. And also, it means another 2025 movie.
Shit, it does
So,
mean that, doesn't
Aiden,
it?
have fun if you want to watch Ne Zha 2.
Why are you saying have fun? I'm still winning.
Not for long, Aiden.
What do you mean not for long? I'm still winning
Not-
even if you watch that.
Nope.
I still have. Oh, I guess maybe we're tied by that point.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
5 of 7, and you have 6 of 7.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so we both have
both have
6.
6.
Okay, but I found out Ne Zha 2, got tickets to see it Thursday, and I'm like, maybe I should see Ne Zha 1.
Maybe.
So I watched it, and it kind of felt like an animated movie,
Wow,
but it
that's
was
cool.
cool because it tapped into a lot of Chinese mythology.
Because it was
Um,
Chinese.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was like high fantasy.
I see.
But yeah, it was cool. It's basically there's this guy named Ne Zha, and through a random series of convoluted lore I cannot get into, he has what's known as the demon orb. So he has the demon orb inside of him, so he's like has everything evil. And there's this other guy, and he has the spirit orb, which is everything good. So everyone fears Ne Zha because he has the demon orb. So he's kind of just mad about that. But then he meets the guy with the spirit orb, and they become friends. But then they have to fight because another guy was mad. and then they fight, and then Ne Zha saves the day, and the people respect him. End of movie. Overall, I think it was pretty good.
Wow.
It's nothing insanely special, but like I had a good time with it. Ne Zha was
So
pretty like the main character was pretty fun.
so you're excited to see the highest
I'm
grossing
excited
movie.
for Ne Zha too, baby.
It's the highest grossing movie of all time. Is that what it is?
Uh,
No,
Domestic.
biggest
international.
domestic of all time.
What does that mean?
I mean
Just
international,
like
like
In the
domestic is
country that it
America.
was made in.
okay.
So like any like American movies, like the American box office, the Chinese movie goes off the Chinese box office.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
But
So
also just
highest for
generally, it's the
China.
highest grossing non-English film ever made.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I watched. The rest I have is group stuff.
Cool.
So let's start off with flight risk.
Okay,
No.
I actually do need to get some water real quick. So can you do flight
Why are we
risk?
starting? No, why are we
My
starting?
Why
off with
not?
throat's
flight risk?
dying. I've been
Why you
ranting.
carried and you gotta talk about flight risk?
Oh, because I don't want to unmute Nikola yet. I still haven't unmuted.
Okay, then wait. What's the non-Nikola stuff we can talk about?
Invincible.
No, Nikola watched Invincible.
Yeah, you can talk about it, but I can leave him on mute.
Ah.
You see your punishment, Nikola?
I don't know.
Okay. So Invincible.
So Invincible is back, and I'm saying these first 3 episodes were way better than the entirety of season 2 for me.
Yeah, no.
They were
I
so
think
much better than all of season 2.
episode 2 is my favorite episode of the season because before this, my favorite not just favorite episode of the season, favorite episode of the show. Because my favorite episode before this was the one in season 1. I think it was the one right before the finale, where it's literally just the government throwing everything they have at Omni-Man trying to stop him.
Oh yeah.
Because I think
That
they
was
get
good.
really creative with all that. And this one is the government throwing everything they have at Mark.
Yeah.
So
I still like
just
the
really like the
finale of season
creativity
1
they
the
get with
best.
that.
I like the finale of season 1 the best still. But
Yeah.
no, this episode these first 3 episodes were pretty good. If I were to rank them, I would say 2, 3, 1.
Yeah.
Because that's like they do a lot of really interesting things. So Nicola, yeah, I know this
I
is
also
probably one of
just
your favorite
love
shows, I assume.
I love how they're like actually having event happening. Like it
Yeah.
feels like at the end of every episode, you're like, where it's forever changed.
Yeah.
Like
We're building up finally. We're getting rid of because like now season 2, as much as it was a good and important season, it did feel like a filler season in a lot of aspects. But now that
Definitely.
we're getting to season 3, we're getting to the real arc of the comics, the real like the juicy stuff now. And from now it kind of kicks on till the end of the run. And there are some lulls later, but right now we're in a really tight spot. So let's kind of break down quickly. We don't need to go too hard into what happens in these 3 episodes, but Nicola, since you are our prime Invincible guy, talk about what happens in these first 3 episodes.
Okay, I can talk now.
No,
I'm
you're still
allowed to
muted for
speak.
Aiden.
Yeah, I know. I don't really care. He needs to watch Invincible anyway, so he should have me muted. Because he doesn't want spoilers. Where is it?
Oh my god, he has to pull it up. Okay.
Okay, don't even say anything because Aiden did the same thing for Spiderman.
Okay, but you should have this ready or at least remember the episode. Guys, we're a professional podcast.
We're
We're
professional.
113 episodes in. We should
Alright,
have this
if
on
I remember the
lock.
name of the
It
episode,
doesn't mean
I'll
we're
get it.
professional. It just means we're 113
Okay, episode
episodes
1,
in.
you're not laughing now.
Very
So basically,
different.
episode 1, you're not laughing now, is we're back with Mark Grayson. He's back and he's gone on his training montage. He's 138% stronger. He's like 68% faster. I don't know, a bunch of numbers. He's training, he's getting stronger. And all of a sudden, the Declaration of Independence gets stolen by these 2 brothers. So he goes with Rexplode to go deal with them. And they start fighting when Multipol shows up. And then Multipol starts beating everybody up. And then they're all
Alright,
fighting.
Aiden, I just want to say he's making they have a national treasure reference in this episode. Someone tries to steal the Declaration of Independence.
I like it. Thanks for letting me know what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
That's
keep
like
me
the one thing you would get from it.
All right, just keep me informed.
But yeah, basically, then they go after Multipol, and that's like the other stuff. And then yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna wait until he returns. I'm gonna wait for you to return.
You guys are so stubborn. Oh my god.
Sorry? I haven't said anything.
He's
Sorry?
waiting for Beck to come back so he can finish recapping the first 3 episodes.
Oh.
I was also using this time to delay because my phone was still the ads were still loading and I didn't have
Are
time
we
to
still
actually
just
see what's
vamping
happening.
here? I don't know
Okay,
what
now
to
I'm
vamp
ready. As soon
about.
as Beck is back, I know what to
I don't
say.
know. Vamping. I don't know.
Um, um, I have a little joke.
I'd love to hear a joke.
So, there's this guy who says he's feeling very depressed,
Uh-huh.
and he goes to the doctor, and he says, "I'm very depressed."
Mhm.
And then the doctor says, "You know where you gotta go? You gotta go to this clown. He's gonna make you happy.
Oh,
The
yeah.
clown's name is Pagliacci, you know?" And he says,
Pagliacci.
and then he says to the doctor, "But doc, I am Pagliacci."
Oh, no! What's
All
he
right,
gonna
back to
do?
It's
Invincible.
like
Now that
from
now that
BoJack
Beck Lines is
Horseman.
back,
But
intermission is
doctor,
over.
I am sad dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, he stole it.
The
Beck,
intermission
he
is over.
stopped
Beck is back.
recapping because you were gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Ben, basically, at the end of the Multipol fight, Immortal, who's the biggest fraud in the show, and Duplicate show up, and they're like, Duplicate isn't actually dead, and then they take Paul back to
He's
prison.
fucking immortal, and she's gonna marry
He's
him.
immortal, and he doesn't do shit, even though he's supposed to be the second strongest person on the planet after Mark. All he does is just sit in the corner and hope Mark doesn't get mad at him. So then they go back to the headquarters, and like all the people that thought they died in season 2 reunite because Shrinking Ray's also back. But then all the seismic
Yeah.
activity starts happening. But then
I
Mark
was so pissed about that.
yeah.
Because it felt like when that happened, it was a big status quo change. 2 named characters died, and 1 was maimed, like, to the bridge of death. And then
Beck,
guess
but you
what?
gotta
They're all
understand,
completely back to normal.
it's still a comic TV show. They're still gonna
I
keep this
know.
trope.
Yeah.
But
It's
Beck,
kinda
you will be surprised later in the comic, there will be permanent deaths later. But as of
Okay.
Right
now,
now,
there's
this is still there's 3 main books that Invincible is in. This is like the beginning of book 2, basically, where we are right now.
like Avatar?
Basically, yeah. So then we get Mark playing with Oliver and like catching ball with him and starting to say like, "Oh, you once you get your powers," and then we reveal that Oliver gets his powers. How already has his powers, and we get to see Oliver bonding with his friend and the other guy. Remember the guy that became an android
right.
Oh,
because of DA
yeah.
Sinclair. So then he's talking with that, and then he goes to talk to Adam Eve because he's like, "Oh, right, I should probably tell her how I'm feeling because of the end of last season." Then this guy, Mark Grayson, I said this when I watched
He's
this
so
episode.
stupid.
This would not be Invincible if Mark Grayson was not the biggest moron on the planet. Because why did he tell her about this
Mark is
future?
so stupid
He
sometimes.
was good for telling her.
No, he wasn't, Beck.
No, it just does
Oh
not
my
make sense to
god.
tell her. Why would she
Beck,
tell her?
My god.
Beck,
You
it's
guys,
gonna make
this
her
is why
feel
you guys
fucking
don't have a
bad.
girlfriend.
Beck, you
Yes,
don't have a fucking girlfriend.
yeah.
Beck,
So
but
then that
Beck,
keeps happening,
how are
and
we
then
not right? She did get upset.
yeah, and then Doc
Okay,
Seismic
yeah, but
shows
it's
up.
better than like her finding out later.
Why would she find out?
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
then
a
Doc
story. She always finds out.
Okay. Well, then Doc
Yeah.
Seismic shows up with all the little worms and spiders and stuff and takes all the heroes on Earth and captures them. And then Mark and Eve are the only one left, so they go and fight him, and then they get their asses kicked until Cecil uses the robots
This
and
pisses Mark off.
Darkwing to save them. And that pisses Mark off because he was literally just talking to his friend who was like who was like life was completely changed because of DA Sinclair. And now DA Sinclair is working for him. And then they defeat him. And then the ending of this episode is we see Mark follow Cecil into the White Room.
And so what I really like
And then there's a little
about
post-credit scene of we see Alan
okay.
the alien getting like they're trying to kill Alan, but they can't.
This is something I kind of have a gripe with Invincible about. They do like this post credit scene, which is not really a post credit scene. It's just like another scene. Just have that as the end of the episode. Stop doing this
Yeah, and some of
weird.
them are like insanely crucial to the plot.
Like just have that as the end of the episode, and then you put not like 2 seconds of post credit scene, another scene. Anyway, what I really like about sort of the end of this episode and like the idea Mark has problems with, because a lot in superhero media we get to see like the superhero who doesn't kill at all. And he that's the one rule. But then in Invincible, they kind of like ground it and make it like more real, like how difficult this is actually to deal with. Like because there are people who think this is a way to get in. Cecil is part of this way, and Mark is like totally against this way, but it's very hard because even Mark, he killed Angstrom Levy at the end of last season, and then weighed hard on him. So he is
Wait, why do
kind
you
of a
say it?
hypocrite.
Why you say it like that? No, he killed
Because
him.
it's a
He's
post-credit
dead.
scene for episode 3.
And but and so we get to see how like a much more real take on how to deal with this, especially when Nikola says the beginning of episode 2, where we see how Cecil was sort of a younger Mark, in
Yeah,
at least
that's interesting. I like
ideologically.
that they gave the backstory for Cecil and shows that was basically exactly like Mark.
So tell us what happens
Yeah,
in
I
episode 2.
loved the backstory. I
So
think
episode
Cecil's my
2
favorite character, and this was definitely a Cecil
so
episode.
episode 2, basically the entire first beginning part of it is like the entire first before first 20 minutes is the Cecil backstory where we basically see how he used to be an agent um working under like the old chief of security, and
Yeah.
on one mission he had to save people by like these two people that were trying to destroy the world by releasing a gas that melts your skin, and he only was able to save like the town by like stopping it all, and it basically caused all his skin to get melted. And that kind of shows why, and because he got new skin but he left one spot, the one spot that his skin wasn't burned the same, to like remind him that he failed. But then when he finds out that the old chief was working with the bad guys now, he's like he couldn't accept it, just like Mark. He's like, I can't accept it. And the chief says, we can either be the heroes or we can be the people who save the world. And he
And
chooses to
I
kill.
really love this parallelism they're
Yeah,
trying to portray. It's
yeah,
so like because especially I'm going to do a little conversation later with Oliver, and then that's how that parallelism as well. I love the parallels they're making in the story from Mark to Cecil and like sort of the ideological because a lot about what
And then
Invincible
also
is.
Mark to Omni Man.
Yeah, because a lot of what Invincible is just ideology and the battle of ideology. That's like because for as much as a superhero show it is, it's just about the idea of ideology, which is a really fantastic part of the show.
yeah. Well, yeah. And then after Cecil kills the two people, he gets sent to prison. The prison is basically just to reform him and show him that like the only way to do it is to do it by any means necessary. And then that comes back to the White Room where Cecil basically says he like okay. This kind of comes to the debate of who was in the right in this argument. Was Cecil right or was
Cecil was
Mark right?
right.
Here's the thing, Cecil definitely has a very good point because Mark got aggressive pretty quickly, but Cecil was mad rage baiting him. Like,
Yeah,
what does he mean? Like, Mark, you're scaring me. Mark, you're scaring me. What do you mean? Like,
Mark,
how do
you're
I know you're not
scary.
gonna kill me? Like, bro, he
No,
was
Okay,
Cecil
so
but
can also be
also
provoking.
very
He
he
dumb.
was
needs to
provoking him so
know
hard.
that when Mark is pushed, he won't crack.
Yeah, I mean that is true. Cause like, cause like, cause he, cause Nicola, I'll explain more about what happens in the episode. Cause like he becomes like the director, and he meets Omni Man for the first time, and he always knew Omni Man he was always suspicious about Omni Man, but then we get to see how he probably trusted Omni Man more. But then to see his trust shatter so completely in the end of season 1, I think he's kind of traumatized by that fact, and he really wants to be wary of Mark now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but then Mark goes after he's fighting Cecil and all the reanimate. He goes to the Guardians of
And
the
this was
Galaxy,
an amazing
to the Guardians
sequence.
part, and yeah, and he basically saying like, Cecil is trying to kill me. You gotta help me. And then Cecil shows up and starts doing this stuff to his heir, and the reanimate get teleported in, and we actually see Mark is still on the ground because he has the stuff, and then Robot finally patches the frequency out, and Mark kills all of the Reanimate actually in the exact same way Omni-Man did at the end of episode 1.
Yeah, that was an amazing parallel. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're really trying to portray that, like, because as much as Cecil is provoking Mark, there is a possibility, and we will definitely see this how this portrays later with other universe Marks, that Mark can very well become Omni Man if he doesn't watch his anger.
Yeah. But yeah, but then the rest is like basically him like recuperating from the fight, like basically talking to people. He finally talks with Amber again and is like, you know, I did kind of fuck up telling you that before, and I like you for reasons other than just because the future you told me to like you. And
Yeah.
then we get back to the Guardians, and they're basically being, and like half of them, and basically half of them, there's only like Immortal, Martian Man, Duplicate, and I don't know anybody else. I can't remember.
Tricky
Oh,
Ray?
the Black Samsis or whatever.
Yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
They decide to stay. Everybody else leaves because they're like, if Cecil is willing to just betray Mark like that and just treat him as a tool, what's saying he can't just do that to us?
and I'm also thinking Robots realizing that at the end of the day, Mark will always be stronger than
Well,
Cecil.
Robot
Ye
has plans within plans within plans
Yeah.
that will come
But
back
he's realizing
later.
that you don't wanna piss off the strongest guy on Earth,
Yeah,
and
because
that
you never
is
know when you
Mark.
want him to be on your side. So yeah, so then that's basically the rest of the episode,
And I
and
think it ends does it end up with they do decide to date Adam
yeah,
Eve.
the episode ends with them deciding to date.
And like, I really enjoy it because finally we get to see sort of the non-Amber Mark relationship because they are just two guys, people that just make more sense for each other because they're both superheroes, so they know the struggles. Because like you'll never have to worry about not going on a date with Adam Eve because she knows what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So episode
And then
3
it starts off with I actually
with like a
really
10
enjoyed the
minute.
intro
I
of
hated this.
I liked it.
It was a
this.
really weird pace, and I thought my audio got fucked up because I was like,
I
why can
liked
I
it. I
not?
thought it was
Because
cool.
Same.
what happened is that the previous episode, before I finished the previous episode, because I watched them in a row, that I did get an issue where like the audio stopped working for some reason because my headphones like stopped connecting for some reason. So when this episode began and it had no dialogue, I was so confused. I thought my headphones got fucked up again. And
It
then I
was
realized,
Yeah.
so
oh no, it's an
long and it
art
led
source.
to nothing.
But I thought it
I
just I
Literally
mean,
thought it was a
nothing.
good use.
it
So
shows the world, you
I feel like it's
know?
really bridging
I
the
don't
fact
give
because
a
like
fuck
I don't
about
know.
these
It was
random
just
people in the world.
I kinda agree with Beck, though. It is kinda just weird.
I liked it because I feel like it shows in what a lot of superhero media doesn't show. The fact that like even the villains have their own more of a sob story. And like a lot of because they really grounded like the world around it. I feel like it makes sense that even like the silliest characters can be like real people. And like I enjoy that. Even though it was a bit gratuitous and like it didn't need to be there for that long. I enjoyed the thing because like so there's this like superhero villain gay couple, I guess, or something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're like they're
They
they're
were
they're
just
getting
really good friends, as historians would say.
they're getting evicted and like they're becoming poor, so they decide to rob a bank again. And but then they like once a guy sees that Oliver comes in the fight, he's like, oh, it's a kid. But then he like that allows Mark to get the upper hand. And I feel like while it's not gonna lead to anything, I thought it was like a nice, interesting scene. What? Because like what's interesting about the show, it's fleshing out the world a bit more than the comics. Like we don't see like as heavily like some of the backstories in the comics than we see in the show now, which I think
I
is
mean,
Yeah.
cool.
it's definitely trying to build up like the episode's like conclusion, which is like, should you kill a villain even if they have like this sympathetic backstory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And showing that they're even though they're all I guess well they're not all humans, they're all people at the end of the day with their own
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
And
also
they're
serves
yeah.
the
I just
purpose
don't care
of
about their stories.
yeah, and it also but it does serve the purpose of showing that Oliver is out when he's not supposed to be fighting crime.
Yeah,
And
and so
that sets up, like,
I
most
wanna
of the
do, like, a
episode.
after you're finished, like, talking about this episode, I wanna do, like, an Oliver breakdown a bit
Yeah.
after.
So basically, Oliver gets scolded by Mark and Debbie because why the hell is he going out and just like trying to fight people? Amber and Eve meet up and they're like, "Oh, good to see that you guys already started like you started dating Mark and I'm dating somebody else now." And it's like we just couldn't live together. And then the ex Guardians, the people that left the Guardians are now moving back into the Teen Titans base, and they're like kind of re-meeting and everything. I really like how Rex is getting a lot of screen time. You know, he's a really nice character, and I really like him. I sure hope nothing bad happens to him.
They're A
Why
trading
you
him so
like
hard right now.
that?
They're giving him so much screen time, Beck.
Beck, come on.
But
Anyway,
he's trying to become a better person.
yeah.
Beck,
So Rudy has some box with something inside that he doesn't want Monster Girl to see. That's like an interesting just like plot point that happened really quickly. Eve decides to move back in with to move back in with her parents and like kind of rekindle that relationship.
Debbie is trying to start a new relationship with
Debbie is also trying to start a new relationship with like the realtor.
and like I'm gonna say this, that realtor, it's gonna bite her in the ass. It's gonna bite her in the ass, I think.
I mean, pretty clearly. Then we also see Titan's back. Finally, we see Titan. He's now taken over the crime organization, but people are mad at him. The Order is mad at him because he isn't doing like the duties that Machine Head was doing beforehand. Um, then Oliver and Mark get their new suits. He becomes Oliver becomes Kid Omni-Man, and Invincible becomes Invinciboy with his blue and black suit.
Which was really funny. And what's
Yeah.
really cool, because like Invincible always does thing about with like the title screen like changes every season. For the first season, it got bloody. Second season, the blood washes away and goes
And it
to black and
becomes
blue.
black
We
and
finally
blue.
got now this, we're getting a few flashes because the title screens definitely reflect who Mark is at different points of his life. Because I think it was like maybe the first episode of season 3 that it flashes to the more of the yellow blue suit to show how he is regressing back at some points, but then they sort of flash back more to forward
I think it
because
ties more
sometimes
into
he is
episode 7.
yeah, he is progressing more, but there is sometimes where he falls back and he's not doing the right
I
thing.
see what you're saying, but I think that the colors are supposed to reflect episode 7 of this season when that airs.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to reflect the different multiverse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
each color is the
Marks.
different suit of the Mark, and I'm because
But I
I
also
mean,
do
you've
think
read the
it's a
comics, you know
character
which one.
thing. It
Maybe.
is
I
also
think
a
it's more
character
supposed to be the
thing.
other one. But yeah, Debbie's going on the date with this stuff. Omni-Man and Kid Omni-Man, Oliver, and Invincible Mark are like arguing and stuff because like Oliver isn't really holding back and doing stuff like that, and they're just like, and he keeps going out. Eve rekindles the relationship with the parents, and he talks to Amber, but we see that he's being watched by some drone, some like weird orb thing. Then remember where that missile base from last season where Rex exploded and all those people got fucked? Well, the same person that was staffed there last time was there now, and he's talking to us like, you know, I'm literally edgy about that wall because what if something bad happens there again? They said, what? Lightning never strikes the same place twice. And then the Muller twins break down the wall and kills both of them.
And now let's talk about the
Yeah.
biggest scene of this episode and what
Yeah.
I'm really interested about. And I think
Well, you
is
see, what
probably my
happens is that the
favorite scene of
Muller
these 3
twins,
episodes.
yeah, because the Muller twins, they're no longer supervillains. They're businessmen. See, they have this plan to launch the nuke into space so that they can take over the global network system and then sell their own security system. But then what's his name? Immortal shows up and doesn't do shit because it's the fucking Immortal and he's the biggest fraud on the planet.
Oh my
Um,
god, this
I hate Immortal. I fucking hate this guy. He's the most annoying character.
Well, yeah,
Cannot
Mortal
stand
sucks.
him. Yeah. Well, then Mark goes to help, and then Oliver follows him, and Oliver and what's his
As
name?
Mo-
Mark has
Mo-
to go stop the rocket. So Oliver is like, oh, let's go deal with some bad guys. So he on accident kills both of the Mauler twins.
No,
So
he
he
kills one of them on accident, and then the other surrenders, and he still kills them.
I don't think he killed the first one on accident
neither
either because
killed-
he
'cause,
doesn't
okay,
draw his
Okay,
punches.
well, guaranteed the second
didn't-
one was on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, so this
Here's the
is
thing.
kind of
One of the reason why Invincible loses so many of his fights is because he pulls his punches really a lot because he doesn't want to kill people.
And with Oliver, we're seeing how much he actually does. Because if a fucking
Because
Viltrumite kid
because
could do this,
because we know that Oliver is significantly weaker than Mark at this point at this point in the story. I think for the entire story, I'm pretty sure Mark is always stronger. But at this point in the story, it's like clearly Mark is a lot stronger. And we
Yeah.
see how clearly Oliver was able to deal with them. So it
Yeah.
shows that Mark is really holding back in all his
And-
fights.
And so obviously after that, Mark and Debbie, they get really mad at Oliver for doing this. And
Because,
he
like,
does this
he just
thing where
killed.
Oliver is kind of very manipulative in a lot of ways. Like he goes back from saying, it was an accident. You know what? They deserved it. It was an accident. Like a little kid. Because
yeah.
he
Personally feel
'cause
like
he
they
is a
went
kid.
too easy on him. Like he did murder like 2 people.
Why did
That's
you
not
do
something to be
that?
like, go to
Right.
your
It's
room.
not nice. You shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't. They treated like he fucking stole candy.
That's not
But-
nice. Don't do that. Don't murder people.
But the thing is, so we're seeing how he does, because he still has like the mind of like a 1-year-old technically, because he is so young, and so he's so
Yeah.
impressionable by his father.
He's like 6
which
years
is something,
old. Yeah.
which is something interesting because his father is now going in sort of the opposite direction. Well, Oliver is going in more of a darker direction, like his father, because like we can see how like the more Viltrumite thing is more embedded into Oliver,
Yeah.
because he hasn't been like with Mark. Mark has been a human for like all his life. He knows Earth, and he's like he's holding back so much. But Oliver has no moral quandaries, and I'm gonna be honest. I think while they need to be careful, there is some validity to what Oliver is saying. A bit. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
There is.
And I mean, that kind of comes to the idea that like there's this always idea that like humans are the only like ones that can like it's the idea that humans are the only like living beings like capable of empathy and emotion.
Yeah.
Or like not like emotion, but like of like compassion and empathy. And then it's like that's why the Viltrumites are like so evil. And Oliver not really being human doesn't really get empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
one
we'll definitely
question.
see, and because we see, you'll continue a second back, but I'm like, because that's why Omni Man at the end of the day he became like he's softened because he's been around humans for such a long time, and that's
Yeah.
why he's starting to regress his old values.
Yeah, I think I miss my wife.
And Beck, yeah, what are you gonna say?
How does Oliver like? Because I got the whole thing where like Oliver is like a big Omni-Man fan, but why is he a big Omni-Man fan? Like,
Because his dad was Omni-Man.
okay, yeah, but like he only knew his dad when he was like a baby. Like, couldn't
Yeah, I
even
mean,
speak. Like,
He probably
how
has
does
some.
he like? Why does he adore him so much? If like what has he
I-
seen about Oliver? Like, yeah, I want to be like that.
I feel like because it's just a different sort of like I think it represents like an alien mind type of thing. Like he
It's
just knows
also
like
the thing that's, like-
Viltrumite thing.
Yeah, but I think it's also a thing like if you know kids at that age don't really know parents as people. They're more like concepts. So
Yeah.
he doesn't really know Omni-Man like as his dad. He only knows him as as like a concept.
Mm.
And that's why he kind of takes on like the idea of Kid Omni-Man. It's not like you wouldn't be like your father like as your superhero name because he's just an idea to Oliver. Exactly. And I'm really because I'm seeing an interesting parallel here with like, Mark Cecil was like when he was young, he was like Mark. And now we're seeing how like unlike that, Oliver is kind of more like an Omni-Man. So we're seeing how Mark is having to juggle all these different like sort of like ideologies and like because in a way, Oliver is as much as he shouldn't have done that, Oliver was right about the Maulers. They didn't have friends, they didn't have family. They were gonna keep killing people and they were gonna continue to hurt people. And so there is a value into them just dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
I definitely see that.
But this is also a type of thing where it can also lead to a very slippery slope for Oliver.
Yeah, and we'll see a big thing about how the ideals and morals change of each character throughout the show as like each person comes with their own idea of what it means to be a hero.
Yeah.
And each season really leaves Mark with a different idea, as you were
Yeah.
saying. Like the first season, he had this very like pure of heart idea, and he still kind of has that in season 2. But season 3, he's now like really seeing that the world is not as clear as that is, and that kind of like symbolized with his new suit. His suit is darker; it's not as bright colors. It's
He's an
black and
adult
blue.
now, you know, like
Yeah,
first 2 seasons he was a kid, now he's an adult.
he's more aged up. He now knows the world isn't as bright and hopeful as it is. It's more he's more grounded. He understands that things aren't perfect.
Yeah.
And
And
as time
so yeah.
goes on, he might have to do more and more stuff just to learn how to adapt and live in
Yeah.
this world.
And we're also seeing this sort of kind of thing where, like, you know, Mark is the protector of everyone. He has to bear the brunt of the world. But then Adam Eve's like saying, you know, you can also lean on us, your family, us, Oliver, you know, your mom, me, because you can't really take it alone. And so we're going to see this interesting. Will he be able to accept them for support? Or will he try to, like, just like ultimately go more down this darker path that he might need to go down? We'll see. Can he remain his his heroism, or what will he do? Because like at the end of the day, the show is about Mark's ideology and like changing what it means to be a hero.
Yeah.
And then how does the episode 3 end, Nikola?
Episode 3 ends with Langston with he's
Angst.
Mark is like hugging Oliver and Debbie, and they're all hugging because Oliver is like, you know what, I won't kill people. So they're all
I
having a
won't
group
kill
hug.
people.
When Mark looks out the window and sees a big red orb looking at him, so he quickly rushes outside and grabs it, and it self destructs in his hand, and he's like, "What the hell is this?" And we cut to Angstrom Levy saying like, "Oh, it's almost time," or something. I forgot exactly what he said, but he basically said like, "It's almost time," and that's how the episode ends.
Yeah. Um, and so we're gonna see how that plot line plays out. I definitely see how the rest of the season is gonna go from here because we only have like
Yeah,
5 more episodes, and so we're gonna
yeah.
see how that
And you know
sorts.
what's interesting is that episode 2 and 3 are 18 plus. Episode 7 is 18 plus. Everything else is 16 plus.
Interesting.
So
Yeah,
you're like literally using the ratings to try to like guess the plot like
yeah.
layout.
I mean, you can also tell based off the titles, and they removed the descriptions, but there used to be the descriptions for each episode that kind of revealed what was happening.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I'm really excited. I think this is much a stronger like premiere than season 2. I'm excited. No breaks, so it's gonna be
Yep.
really fun seeing this sort of TV show of the week, and I'm excited. But let's talk
I'm
about
already hyped.
another TV show, Beck. This was an amazing episode of
Severance?
TV.
Okay. Yes. The thing is,
The Thing?
I felt like it
Fuck
knowing
you.
the theory, um, and
But
like
the thing
knowing the
is,
theory just like meant like, okay, now we're just waiting for the other characters to figure it out. Cause they basically hard confirm it like
yeah,
throughout
they
the
do
entire
confirm
episode.
it. But the thing is, at least they revealed it now instead of at episode 10. You know,
Yeah.
they're trying to like because like what good at Severance is that like they're gonna do the things you think. Oh, they do you assume a reintegration or Helly reveal that would be like the end of the season, but they're sticking their guns and they're gonna do it earlier. So let's talk about this episode. Well, I found at least the
Yeah,
20
one
last 20
thing I just
minutes.
wanna say quickly, still talking about the twist,
Yeah,
was I think
I mean I was right,
if
Beck. I told you.
yeah, you were yeah, you told me that's the problem, where it's like, I never would've guessed that if I wasn't, like, following the online circles, if I wasn't following the show. So I felt like I probably would've enjoyed this episode more if I'd just gone in more blind, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah,
But I
I mean,
mean,
but it
There
felt
there's benefits
so.
to both sides, like, I love, like, engaging with the community, seeing the theories, but it also just
Yeah.
means, like, a lot of the stuff kinda gets spoiled by, like, trailer analysis and frame by
But
frame
what's
stuff.
But what's interesting about this, at least this episode, they do something really cool where at the end of the last episode, you think it's going to be a whole Mark reintegration episode,
I
but then
was
they,
so confused. How are they
and so that's what I'm going to get to my theories at the end, but let's just quickly say what happens in this episode. So we this is very much an Irving B episode, which I loved.
Yeah.
And so we wake up Irving B. He's like in this cold wilderness forest. And the creator said he always wanted to start an episode with an innie, not knowing where the hell they are, like in a random cold winter forest.
Mm.
And like we do the zoom in, the dolly zoom in, which I love the dolly zoom they do.
Yeah.
Um, got Beck, it's pulling back while zooming forward. Do you understand?
I love dolly zoom. Dolly zooms are some of my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
And
looks
this
really
show
cool.
utilizes them so fucking much.
It uses a lot of dollars too.
But and so then he calls up to Mark and it turns out they're doing a community like a corporate retreat type of thing for the innies. But it's this weird thing where it's all in this called Gear Egan National Forest, where essentially it's Kier's twin brother. And sort of playing on the concept of, like how in a lot of fictional media, there's always like the hidden twin storyline, like the twin brother, the one who was sickly or like that type of twin. And so it's kind of playing on that idea. Um, so we see, and so essentially they go through like this, through this like sort of trek, and they see different like robot versions of themselves or like clone versions of themselves, like the twins, like pointing to different places, and they eventually arrive at this like sort of tent area where they get to like sort of relax. And what's really cool is that like for the first time, these are the first time these innies ever get to sleep in their life,
Oh yeah, I did also think about that. Yeah.
because for the rest of their time they never got to see the sky. They never got to do like any of these things. They never get to sleep. They only get the benefits of sleep in the workplace. And then and then but you really see how the Lumen is trying to control them with different facts. Like it's absurd what they do, but they do things like Mr. Milchick goes like, "This is the tallest waterfall in the world," which is an
Yeah.
obvious lie because it's only like 70 feet. Um,
And he
and
tells the story
they do
about the
just
kid that masturbated in the forest.
yeah, and
Real?
so Mr. Milchick talks about how Kier Egan, um, um, and he listened to his brother masturbate in the forest, and then he melted into like the forest, and then like it's supposed to be like this very heroic sort of like tale or something, but then like Helly makes fun of it, and then for a moment you're kind of lulled into your senses. Oh, maybe this is just Helly.
Yeah.
But then you see this could have been a part of a elaborate lie. And what's really cool, furthermore, is like this is an Irving B episode first and foremost. You get to see like you really wonder what's happening with Mark because like what happened with his reintegration? Why is he here? What do we know? But you focus on Irving B, which I think was a really smart choice. They really subverted our expectations here.
I think the one Mark integration thing we get is it was like that glitch with the faces when he was having sex.
Yeah. And
Makes
so
sense.
this goes to my fear. I think he is I think he is reintegrated and he started his plan. There's been a quite a time jump. I mean, not a
So
quite
you
like
think
there's
both Audis pretended to be innies and
no.
had
I think
sex with each other?
no.
True.
I don't think Helly is just Helena is just pretending to be Helly. Mark is reintegrated, and he's
Oh,
pretending to
because
be
he
his
has
innie.
okay, he has both memories.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I think he is reintegrated, and we're going to see how that plays out. But I think the show's going to probably try to make us more mysterious. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and so we're seeing how that plays out, and so Helly and Mark do have sex. And we see how like that bond starts to form. And it was a quite a beautiful scene because like all the blue lights, and you see like this is a really great connection between these two people. But then at the end of the reveal, it kind of like sinks the feeling of
It
this
feels
great moment.
weird.
Yeah. But in the moment, if you accept that it's Heliar, you're just like, oh, it's a great moment.
Yeah.
But then later, and so then we're seeing how like Irving is being very suspicious of Helly, and he's like, "Okay, tell me the truth, because okay, what did you really see in the Night Garden?" She's like, "Nothing." And then she says, like, you're just sad because you don't get to see Bert, which is true because like he's kind of just been feeling like nothing since he never gets to see Bert again, and he's really just like so depressed. And then she tries to like say apologize for that with like a snow seal, but it doesn't work. And so she leaves. And so we're seeing this is a very interesting point where it leads off to this big climax where he sort of like Bert goes he sleeps Irving sleeps out in the woods and like he gets like this sort of memory and so you're sort of thinking like what is really going on? It's like a vision dream. It's like he's like in like the office, but it's like a forest version. And so like I'm thinking this might not even because if Dieter Egan is big enough to have a national forest, Beck, wouldn't like Dylan know about him? Because is this maybe like a whole computer simulation? Maybe I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I don't think they would bring them actually outside the floor.
Yeah,
So either this is some weird like TV screen walls, fake weather something, or it's like inside the mind trickery of no. Because I feel like if it was a computer simulation, then couldn't they have just woken up
yeah,
Helly up so she didn't die?
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that is true. But it's interesting. We don't really know what's going on, but it leads off to this really amazing final moment where Helly finds Irving and he's like, I know like who you are. And then he grabs her and he yells for Mr. Milchick. And this was an amazing fucking scene.
Yeah.
And like he's all like, Mr. Milchick, and like Dylan and Mark are like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, let go of her. And he's like, she's a mole. She's an Egan.
Mm.
And then he starts to drown her. And he's like, bring her back, bring Helly back. And then in a great moment, she's like, God damn it, Seth, do it. And Dylan and Mark are like, what? And he brings back Helly. And then for this, he gets punished. But man, did he go out in a fucking banger rate? Because like he took himself off the board, but he revealed a major piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. He foiled their plans a lot.
And in the same way, he kind of said, "You smug motherfucker" in the first season to Mr. Milchick. He's like, he basically looks into his eyes and like he knows
I
he
love that he
beat Mr.
calls him
Milchick.
Seth also.
Seth,
'Cause like
like he's ruining the
yeah.
idea of Mr. Milchick. You're just a goddamn person, Seth. You are not like an overlord of me. And so he walks into the woods, and like Mr. Milchick is all like, "May Kier's mercy follow you into the eternal dark." And then that's how the episode ends. But man, is it a great way? Like, but because without Bert, everything was already kind of done. So he was okay doing this because he had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking Mark is still reintegrated. And I hope John Turturro gets like a Emmy nomination for this season because he was amazing in this episode.
I mean, it's gonna be tough because he's only really in it for like 4 episodes.
I'm assuming they're
And
probably gonna try bring him. He's gonna come back in some way.
yeah. I'm just saying like for award, they'd probably wanna go with someone who was more in like the whole season.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're probably gonna see like maybe an Audi Bert storyline. I think so.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it
Um,
would definitely be very confusing when Audi Irving just wakes up and is like, "Why am I in a snowy forest and why did I try to drown someone?"
and then we're seeing how like
Yes.
they're actually managing to defeat Lumen in a few ways. And if they could just like all collect themselves together, they could like really be a force to stop Lumen, which is amazing.
It is insane how much they're willing to risk just for one guy.
Yeah,
Because they just need Mark S specifically, which is weird. So like
yeah.
my personal theory is that they somehow killed his wife to make him so depressed that he had to work in the severed office.
But then why would they use his wife as like the HR person?
'Cause that helped him work somehow, maybe?
It's interesting. I don't think his wife is dead. You mean like they faked her death, right?
They faked her death, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We still I don't even suspect we're going to find all these storylines until the end of the season, but this show continues to be a thrilling TV show with like continuing episodes and storylines across, and it's like an amazing commentary about the idea of work and under this sort of capitalism, and I love it.
Yeah.
Um, no, and this was a fantastic episode, and like it really shows like how sort of powerhouses these performers are, like because the way Britt Lauer is because like she has to play so many levels because she has to play like Annie, Helly, and then like Helena pretending to be Helly, which is different than just Helly. So she has to play like
Yeah.
3 characters technically.
All these actors have to, like yeah, they had to have insane rage to, like, play Innie's outies.
Yeah, it's just amazing, and I love it. Let's I know quickly talk about Dog Man.
Okay, I think we should try to burst through these last 3 movies, not do in-depth plot stuff,
I mean,
Why?
it's Dog Man, like
because
like
What do you
we're
what?
mean?
2 hours, 45 minutes in already,
Oh, are
Yeah,
we
and
great?
it's almost 1 AM,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
I have to wake up at 8 AM tomorrow.
Imagine. Anyway, so Dogman, I didn't get to talk about it last week, so we're gonna talk about it now, I guess. Dogman is a spin-off of Captain Underpants, one that takes place canonically within the world of Captain Underpants. Have you guys read Dogman before?
Oh,
No,
no.
Why did you put your thumb up?
Because
no.
I thought you were gonna be like, "Have you seen Dogman?" And I was gonna be like,
No,
"Yeah."
I said have you no. I believe I've read the first book. I can't remember how accurate it was because it's probably been a long time. However, here's what happens in the movie: man and dog in explosion, dog head, sew on man body, dog man, best police officer on the force. He's a super cop. But there's this
Yeah,
bad
and
guy,
then the
and
girlfriend
his name
breaks
is
up with
Petey.
him.
And there's this bad guy. His name is Petey. He's a cat, and he makes a clone of himself, but it's a baby. His name's Lil Petey. And he's gonna take over the world. But Lil Petey goes and hangs out with Dogman. But then there's a fish voiced by Ricky Gervais, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill all the do-gooders." And then he almost kills the cat, the Lil Petey, and then Big Petey and Dogman go save the day.
It's a children's movie, but I'm gonna be honest, I quite enjoyed this
It's
movie
a
I think
really
this
good
movie
movie.
shines
because
not in its, like, overall plot, but in its, like, minute-to-minute joke telling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. And I think the movie was fine, but when Lil Peedy came, that's when I really enjoyed the movie. Lil Peedy
Yeah.
steals the fucking show in this movie.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Because what I also really enjoy about this movie is sort of its messaging. Because like
Oh
you
yeah.
don't always have to be like the bad guy. Like there's no reason to be this
Just
sort of
'cause you
bad guy.
bad guy does not
Did
mean you
this guy
bad
watch
guy.
There was
Wreck-It Ralph?
there's a lot of good messaging in this movie.
No, it's like a really fantastic kids movie. It's not like I like what I would call like Sonic junk food. This is not junk food because this
No.
I really just like enjoy sort of like it feels like a perfect movie to watch with a kid. And like cuz like this it would be a perfect cyber movie cuz like it's great characters, pretty good storyline and like Little Petey best favorite
Yeah.
character in the movie. Uh,
I what blew me away was like how fucking funny this movie was.
like
Yeah.
Life's
I
Unfair. That was funny.
Life's Unfair. If you call that number, it will actually
I
do that.
I was cracking up every time they said ADHD. That one
Oh
was
yeah.
really funny.
Oh, they make that same joke in the latest Harley Quinn episode. I forgot to
Really?
Uh, yes, a very, very similar joke. Anyway, I was laughing so hard during this movie. Like like all the background detail, a lot of the best jokes are visual comedy shit. Like you'll just see like a box in the background that just says super box of food, and that's all it is, and it's the funniest shit. Like bridge. Oh, but there's explosions this time is just funny. I want to see this with you here. cannot tell you how funny that Gooba Gaba is in the movie theater. Whenever the building just kept saying Gooba Gaba, hilarious. I could tell every single time they made a joke that I could tell which ones were written by Dave Pilkey because I've read the original Captain Underpants. I've read all of those. I know exactly what was his work there.
Yeah. But
That's
honestly,
a crazy like skill.
He
I did
has
not think I could
really
identify someone's writing
he has
style.
a really distinct style of telling jokes. Like if you were to read the books and then watch the movie, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is pretty much one-to-one how he."
yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, there's not much to say about this movie, but it's a really like fun, good time with great messaging, like
Yeah.
pretty quintessential, kind of perfect kids movie.
Yeah. Do we think it's better or worse than Captain Underpants?
I haven't seen
They're
Captain
the same.
Underpants, so it's better.
To rewatch Captain Underpants to
Yeah.
compare them.
I watched Captain Underpants last year. I think they're on the same level, but it could go either way depending on day, I guess.
Yeah. I want a
Captain
little
Underpants has Weird Al.
if I just had a little PD movie, I'd be perfect with my life.
Yeah, you could just read the books. There are
No, I need a movie. I need a
okay.
movie.
This guy doesn't like
Let's talk
reading.
about how dumb you all need a pilot.
No, let's talk about Love Hurts first.
Okay, Love Hurts so far is my most hated movie of the year.
And by
Really?
hated, you mean it was just painfully average?
Painfully average. Although the Raven fucking goated.
What? So what is Love Hurts about? It's the
so-
new Ki Ku Kwan movie, right?
Yeah, Kehei Kwan. Yeah, new Kehei Kwan movie. So basically, this guy, he's a realtor, but secretly he used to be a murderer man for his brother Knuckles. And now this girl Rose is back, who he
Worst
thought was
character ever made. I fucking hate Rose.
who he let live because he was supposed to kill her, and then he went into hiding, but she's back and she's taunting everyone, and they both want to fuck each other, but they don't know it yet.
There was no chemistry between them this entire movie.
You're so right, but love it really
and
does.
then
hurt.
also, like Rose is like, I know you're happy not killing people and working to give people homes, and you get fulfillment in that. But I need you to go kill people because that's what you used to do, and you can't change. So
yeah,
be
the
a
message
bad
of the movie
person,
really is there is no you can't change. That's like
Yeah.
basically the message of the movie.
which is
Yeah.
a terrible message.
but like it's an action movie, so if you can stomach a pretty
All the
Me-
action scenes were amazing. I will say that.
the action scenes are very good. I
I
did
like
really
when the guy
like
said beast mode and then broke an entire wall.
I did really like the characters Otis and King.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those guys were really funny. I do really like bumbling idiot cop buddies as side characters. So they were very funny.
I think the random subplot romance with the assistant and the Raven, I loved that part.
Yeah.
Do you not like that part?
I mean, it was entertaining. It wasn't I think that Raven should have been in a different at least his fighting style should have been in a different movie.
No, one thing that was so fucking stupid to me was this movie is so weird because I think it was made to be PG-13, and then they're like, okay, we can make it R.
Yeah. So there's
and
just
then randomly
random
in the final battle, the Raven cuts 3 massive chunks into everyone's chest. And I'm like, if they live this movie's bullshit. Because
yeah.
they were fucking dead. They're alive.
Yeah, this movie is could have definitely been PG-13, and I think it would have been made more movie money if it was made PG-13. Because there's no reason it should be. There's only like the knife through the hand, and then like that slashing scene, right?
Yeah.
And then the like swears aren't even used very much.
Oh, and that one time the property brother got shot in the head.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
I was like, I recognize that guy from somewhere. He's like an HGTV reality star from like Property
is he?
Brothers. Yeah, he's one of the
he?
Property Brothers. So I think
Yeah.
that's a cool Easter egg or cameo.
Well, I think I liked the Sean Austin cameo because I saw the Goonies. He's one of the other characters in.
Was he the Texas guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love the Texas guy. I
Yeah.
was so sad when he died.
Yeah.
I love the stereotype of just a random rich Texan. It's
Beck,
funny.
you would not like Stranger Things season 2 if seeing that guy made you sad because Sean Austin is in Stranger Things season 2 and it's even sadder when he dies.
Is he also a rich Texas guy?
Oh, he's
No.
just a very lovable guy in that one. It's like same character if he was just like a poor guy.
Mm.
A poor guy from wherever.
There is also a scene, Uri, where a woman is sitting down and she pulls up a blanket and it reveals she has a shotgun and she kills a guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like in Megaopolis. I literally
Sure.
Did
I
she
was
say, what do you
praying,
think
I was
about
wa-
this pussy I got?
She didn't
Yeah.
say that.
There were so many times I'm like, I wish I was watching this with Aiden so I can make all these references.
Yeah, so Beck was like, hey, Aiden, there's 2 jokes. One for here and Nikola. The Yahir one was the beast mode one, which that's what I thought. But the Nikola one was the one I was sure about, and Nikola was sure about as well. We concluded that the scene where Rose is speeding at an oncoming vehicle was the one that was supposed to represent Nikola. It was not that one. It was the one that vaguely resembles the scene in Megalon.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
But I mean, I was actually lying. It was the car scene. 'Cause I know you so well,
Ooh.
Aiden.
Yeah. Well, that's Love Hurts. Definitely a movie that was
I
watched.
really hope he
Love
made a
certainly
bag from
hurts.
this.
Listen. If K.A. Kwan's worst filmography thing is that, then he's fine.
He's fine, yeah.
He's
Because,
fine.
I mean, I hope it leads to more roles. Because, I mean, he won an Oscar
Yeah.
for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So,
And the 2 things I remember him being in since that is Kung Fu Panda 4 and this.
and Loki.
And Loki.
Oh, Loki. He was fire in Loki.
Okay, yeah, but Beck, he's also in The Goonies. He's also in Temple of Doom. Like
But
those are
Okay,
those
but
are,
I'm
like,
saying
so
like
early.
post Oscar.
oh, post Oscar, you mean? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. And now it's time for Flight. We know we've been edging you for this whole time.
I know.
One
I wanted to
second.
learn about y'all need. What a terrible tagline for a movie.
Pilot?
Y'all need a pilot. Beck, did you watch this?
No.
No.
I wanted to watch this so badly.
You would have had
but it just
a terrible time.
it
If it,
got
yeah, watching this movie
removed from the
alone would have been
theaters.
awful.
Yeah. So here's the movie. So there's this guy named Winston, okay?
No, what you have to start with is the fact that the opening shot is the establishing shot of the
I
movie.
forgot. The establishing shot of the movie is AI generated. My
No fucking way.
The very first thing you see is a poorly CGI AI generated
motel in
winter
Alaska.
motel with like a not a Dodge with like an SUV in it.
Yeah, that's the first thing you see. So you have our character Winston. He's like a middleman, money launderer. He's hiding out in Alaska, and then the U.S. Marshal lady, I don't remember her name. Fuck.
It had a $26 million budget and they couldn't find a fucking motel to shoot at.
26 million?
26 million.
For fucking what? Wait, actually,
Mark Wahlberg got 25 million.
really?
No, I thought that
No,
the
no,
movie
no.
costed $25 million to make, and they made $30 million in box office.
Wait,
The
they
budget
made
was
34.
26 million.
Where
And
did
they've
they-
made 34
where did
million
it-
so far.
Where did it go? Wait, I'm legitimately confused as to where the fucking money
Mark
went.
Wahlberg is expensive, Aiden.
Dude, there's
Weird.
nothing in this fucking movie.
What
$20
are the
million on
Hey.
promotions?
Topher Grace must be
Wait.
expensive a little bit.
$20 million in ads? That's crazy, bro. I didn't realize that's where it all went. Okay, anyway, so but fucking Winston, he gets caught by the U.S. Marshal, and she's like, "We're gonna go." He's like, "Wait, I want to make a plea case. I'll testify against the bad guy." And she's like, "Okay, we're gonna go fly to Seattle." And so the next day they have a private jet, and she's like, or private plane. She's like, "All right, we're going to Seattle. You stay in your chair." And he's like, "Fine, I'm handcuffed to the chair." And then Mark Wahlberg comes and he's like, "Hey, it's me, Mark Wahlberg. I'm your pilot today." And she's like, "Cool, you're the pilot today." And then, guys, they realize that maybe he's not who he says he was, because he just fucking keeps talking. He just keeps lying about things that he doesn't need to lie about until he gets caught in the lie. And then she tases him, and then he's unconscious, and they handcuff him to like a rope in the back of the plane. And now she has to fly the plane. Madeline fly the plane.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I think I could land a plane.
So Nikola made that exact joke during
Heck,
this
you're
movie.
basic and you're boring.
So
What joke?
that Madeline flying the plane is Beck in VTOL VR.
Yeah, I actually made the exact same joke when it was the guy yelling at him, "Pull up, pull up, pull up," was literally just me playing VTOL VR with Beck.
So what
And
happened?
who landed the plane in VTOL VR?
You did not land. That was a crash landing. That's actually exactly what
The
happened.
plane ended up on the ground. That's a landing.
Any landing you can walk away from is a good landing.
So if you realize at this point, I have mentioned 3 characters. There are only 3 characters that you see presently in the movie.
Until the last like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and there are 3 other named characters that speak. After Madeline is like, "Oh shit, pilot, I'm gonna call my like supervisor. Hey supervisor, I'm piloting it now. He was a fake pilot." "Oh no, a fake pilot? How would that happen? I'll give you a new pilot. Here's Hassan." So then she starts talking to Hassan, and Hassan is like, "Hey baby girl, I heard that you're flying a plane by yourself and you don't know how to fly a plane. How about I fly right into that pussy of yours once you land?"
Guys, I want to see what these
Fucking
movies are the way we
Megalopolis ass
describe them.
line.
I'm lying, but no, he is like, "Hey, so after you land that plane, you want to?" She's like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah. Do you want to get dinner?" And she's loving it. She loves getting hit on in this.
This is like a dangerous situation.
And so that's all happening. And then Mark Wahlberg wakes up, and he's like, "Hey, Winston, did you know that that I wasn't gonna bring you to Washington? I was gonna bring you into the middle of nowhere and rape you. Wouldn't you love to get raped, Winston? Oh, Winston, come look at my penis."
Of rape jokes.
What the fuck?
There was like
are
way
so-
too many rape jokes.
Like more than
If it's too many rape jokes for Nikola,
I think
that's
more than
crazy.
What is that supposed to mean?
I literally think like more than 25 mentions of Mark Wahlberg saying that he's gonna rape both of them, and murder them and leave them in.
And he's bald in this movie?
He's bald also. And
No,
so
he's
Mark
not fully
Wahlberg,
bald, but he like has like a one stripe of hair.
yeah. And it looks
It's
fake,
really
but it's
weird.
actually real. The makeup sucks in this movie.
The makeup sucks. Like the woman has like a small cut on her face, and the makeup makes her look super swollen, and it's like not consistent. So some shots it looks fine, other shots it looks completely unnatural,
Yeah.
and then like just overall the makeup looks really wacky all over the time. Mark Wahlberg's head looks like it's covered in makeup, even though apparently it's not. He just looks that way.
Yeah.
He just looks that way.
So yeah, so the rest of the movie is them flying the plane. Mark Wahlberg wakes up, wreaks havoc, and then they chain him up again. So you may be
Why
wondering,
don't they just kill him?
because he says, "Oh, you don't want to shoot me because if you shoot me, the bullet's gonna fly through the hit a gas tank or something." You know the guy who's been lying this whole time? Do you think he's lying still? And then she's also like, "I'm not gonna kill him because that makes me a bad guy."
Fuck it.
So She
But we
doesn't
need
kill him.
Where's Oliver when you need him?
Anyway, you might be thinking, wait a minute, if nothing happens, what's the plot of the movie? So basically, they find out that Mark Wahlberg knows a lot more than he should. Like, he knows where Winston's mom lives, and he's like, how does he know that? I pissed my pants, and he wants to rape me. And then, real dialogue. So good. But they're like, how would he know? There has to be a mole in the U.S. government. I think it's my superior. I'm gonna call the head of the government. Hey, head of the government that's in your home in Hawaii or in Florida, the place that we mentioned earlier, where a bunch of money was being wired to earlier. Hey, there's a mole. I think it's this person. Oh, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And then 5 minutes later, she's like, uh-oh, I think he was the mole instead. And now he's the mole and her friend dies. Bad acting. And then, oh, it's terrible. And then Mark Wahlberg frees himself from his prison again and he stabs Winston. She's like, no, we have to keep Winston alive because he has to testify in court. We gotta land this plane. And she knocks him out with a fire extinguisher and
You all need a pilot?
and handcuffs him again to the chair. So they're landing the plane. They're landing it. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. And then at this point in the movie, I was having a generally good time. Like, it's bad, but like it was funny. And every time something was wrong about my Nick pointed out, so every 3 minutes. And that was all entertaining. But then they have this scene that very graphically, Mark Wahlberg breaks his thumb and rips his arm out of the handcuff. You see him break his thumb, you see it rip off, and you see the skin on his body rip off as he pulls his hand through the handcuff.
That's where
For
the
like
money went.
For like 30 seconds. For like a solid 30 seconds. It's like the most grotesque thing you've ever seen. And you wonder why it's in the
And they were
movie.
like,
And it
audiences are gonna love this back home.
legitimately dropped my score a 1.5 stars.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, because like 1.5 for Aiden is crazy. The last thing he gave 1.5 to was Borderlands.
Like, I was having a good time watching this movie until that happened. And I was like, that's nasty. I did not need to see that.
It was like the
crazy
cocaine
part is
bear
how the
scene.
movie is still better than it ends with us.
And then he attacks the woman after ripping his arm out, and he's like, and he hits her, and he flies into the back of the plane because they're crash landing. Oh no, they're crash landing! And the door rips open, and Mark Wahlberg, he's like, and he flies out the back of the plane and gets run over by a fire truck. In the worst, I don't know if it was AI, CG, practical, the worst effect that you've ever seen. Also made the movie worse because it was also really gross and also probably would have been better if he didn't die, considering the whole thing was that they don't kill people. So the fact that he died, really stupid. And then they crash and Winston's been unconscious for like the past 5 minutes and he's still unconscious and she's like, oh no, he died, and shakes him awake as if the plane crash wouldn't have shaken him awake when they crashed. Oh, but then he wakes up and he's okay. So then the ambulance, they take him and Madeline's like, whew, we made it. Thank God. But then she notices a sketchy guy gets into the back of the ambulance. And she opens the ambulance, and it's a guy, he has a plastic bag over Winston. And then Winston's like, shoots the guy. Who, remember when she said she doesn't kill? She killed this time. And then she pulls the plastic bag off. She's like, and then the movie ends.
Need a pilot?
Y'all need a pilot?
Well, that was flight risk, and
Well, he was on the plane and it did go down that way.
I'm disappointed by some states of filmmaking right now.
Yeah.
But
so the
was
incredible
it
part,
fun bad?
it's fun bad until the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's something that I want to say because I found this out through a Letterboxd review. This was voted into the blacklist. It was a blacklisted script in 2020.
Makes sense.
Here's the kicker. The original script doesn't have the rape jokes.
But that's what makes the movie pop.
Guys, I have an
What?
idea.
What
The film isn't
happened?
doing
It
good.
was Mark
We need
Wahlberg's
more rape
improv. He was just
jokes.
improving.
How did and who do you know who this movie is directed by? Because it's not Mel Gibson. Mel fucking Gibson directed this shit.
And he's a famously not
Insane.
he's a not problematic figure at all, right?
Yeah, he made fucking crazy movie. What has he made? He made fucking
He made The
Lethal
Passion of the-
Weapon. Yeah, he made The
Passion of-
Passion of the Christ.
Very
fucking
famously not a problematic figure.
Hacksaw Ridge. Like crazy movies. Right? Oh, wait, he is now serving with Sylvester Stallone and John Voight, right?
He's like
As
the ambassador for Trump. He's a big Trump.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's also problematic. Whatever happened, I don't know how we ended up with what we watched. How $26 million were spent on this movie,
Because
considering
Aiden, y'all need a pilot kind of sells itself.
considering the makeup was bad, the CG was bad, some of it was AI. How did $20 million go to
Mark
advertising?
Wahlberg is expensive.
The AI moose took a lot of money.
The AI moves took a lot of money. I forgot. Yeah, I don't really know. And considering they released the movie about the crashing plane in the month where we've had like 17 plane crashes,
That is funny.
It's
why
free
did
promotion.
they go ahead with that? This is like releasing.
They can't just remove the release date from the theater like 2 weeks before it's released.
You definitely can.
They kind
Like,
of
that's
can.
why
but
they,
you
that's why they
didn't
took
know
out
before.
the Twin Towers out of Spider-Man.
Did they?
Yes.
But how long after was that?
It was not that long after. Maybe it was.
Yeah, but I do think this should be one of our Uri, you should watch this movie high. That's my concluding thoughts.
Well, guys,
well,
I
we
suggest
recommend
watching-
Flight Risk.
No,
Yeah,
recommend
I
Flight
recommend
Risk.
Flight
Watch
Risk.
Big Fish. If you
Watch
want
Dogman also.
if you want to watch a good movie, Big Fish or Dogman, always use Celsius. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing.
Bye,
Thanks.
bye.